You are now checked in to Stand Up New York Labs. Oh, yeah.
Race wars.
I know you're like, how could a white man be allowed to do that?
You can say the word only in the confines of this podcast. It's what we do, baby! Yeah!
You're out of your fucking mind, dude.
I have the power! With Metzger and Sherrod.
Hold up! We the
here's your
boys!
headphones,
And girl. And Christine Nagel.
And Christine Nagel, a.k.a. Philly Girl.
Yes.
Andrew Goldstein is the news Jew today.
The news Jew. That's right.
Shalom.
We're going straight
Normally
to the
it's,
source for the news this week.
Aaron from Jezebel, but I think she had something she had to work on or
So
something.
we're going straight to the source. We're going straight to the Jews for the news. They control the news.
Yeah, and we got
Jew news.
John Ronson here.
Oh my God, John Ronson's in the building?
Yeah, he's the author of So You've Been Publicly Shamed and the psychopath test.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
look
really
at
good
you.
books.
Did you pass your own test, John? You look like you passed it.
Well, what does that mean?
You look like a psychopath, John.
Yeah, people say I read the psychopath test. I passed it, but I never know what they mean by that.
Well, I met John at Jim Norton's pilot, and
Okay.
John was the interview with Norton, and his interview was so goddamn interesting.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because we're talking about your public shaming book.
That's right.
But the thing I want to set up, because I keep mangling it, like retelling it, because psychopath gets thrown around. That and sociopath
Yes.
are like pop.
We got to
things.
show respect for these psychopaths and sociopaths. We can't just throw this title around
Well,
to
now
people.
there's a pop idea that like psychopaths. You explain it.
Well,
But yeah.
I think it's all politics. It's all backroom
Oh,
politics.
happy Veterans Day, too, by the way. Happy Veterans Day. I
yeah.
have to shout that out. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, Johnny.
Yes.
All gave some gave all.
That's right. That's right.
Happy Veterans Day.
That's Philly girl.
I think that's on a Liberty Bell,
She
actually.
brings a Philadelphia perspective to everything.
A Philly twist to it,
And
if you
all
will.
that-
It's a cosmopolitan location. So
That's right. Old Baltimore with electricity. Philadelphia.
Yeah, that buddy.
Yeah.
So anyway, set this up about the psychopaths are
Okay.
controlling what people say.
Oh, I see. Okay, so basically, the statistic, according to the people who are, who've spent their lives studying psychopaths, is that 1 in 100 regular people is a psychopath. But
1 in 100.
1 in
Yeah.
100, but that figure rises to 4% of CEOs and business leaders. So you're 4 times, because capitalism, I think for 2 reasons. I think
Breeds
firstly,
it.
capitalism rewards it because the items on the checklist are lack of empathy and lack of remorse and grandiose self-worth.
So this
and
is kind of
on.
like American Psycho, the movie. Because this guy was excelling at business
Yeah,
because he
I
was
guess.
cold and...
Yeah.
Well, the idea is they're not all killers. Like some people have a degree of
Yeah, they're not all perfect like that
Yeah.
guy in the
but
movie.
also surgeons and shit.
That was
just
a
to
joke,
be
by the
cut
way.
people open.
I got that joke.
Thank
Sherrod.
you. Thank you.
You're
But it's not only that capitalism rewards psychopathy, but also if you don't have any empathy, then what's left is just the will to win. So so basically from 2 fronts, psychopaths rise to the top. So anyway, this was the theory that I heard. So I wanted to write a book where I would learn how to become a psychopath spotter and then journey into the corridors of power.
There's a great book, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
spot
love it already.
psychopaths. And I did. Well, I kind of did. What really happened was that I became kind of drunk with my psychopath spotting powers and started spotting psychopaths everywhere.
Oh,
And in
okay.
fact, it turned me kind of psychopath.
You can't even take the subway no more because it's just filled with it, right?
Well, dude, this is what I like about your books, because you're so good about like pointing out in yourself this kind of like glib fucking like, oh,
Yeah.
you're a psychopath. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people don't catch that about themselves at all, and I find that real interesting.
Totally.
But then the thing that I liked was you comparing it to David Icke. Do you know who David Icke is,
No.
Sherrod? He's the British guy that believes that the lizard people are secretly controlled. You've heard this
Yes, I heard this.
conspiracy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We
He's
had
the
Conspiracy
starter of
Dave
that.
here talking about. I don't know if he's the starter of it or a proponent.
Yeah, no, he's the starter of it. Well, I mean, there was a Zulu chieftain.
There you
called
go. Bring your black
Credo-
people in, John. Now we got a problem with you.
Well, his
Yeah.
name was Credo Mutwa, so he came up with it. And
What was his name?
Credo Mutwa.
Oh, you talking about Cree Cree?
Wait, that's how that idea started? Was
Yeah.
a Zulu chieftain?
David Icke. Well, all I know is that David Icke kind of appropriated. Well,
When?
gave
No
him-
way.
Gave him
He
credit.
stole that from a. Okay, go ahead.
Just
he
like
gave-
everything else, Kurt. Don't be so surprised. Rock and roll, the same thing with that.
Can I
Yeah,
also point out that like this is very ironic because this guy named Ike David used to sell sick lizards out of his Dodge Caravan on the block. I cannot believe this.
I don't know if that's irony or coincidence, Philly girl.
I think it's a
but-
little both.
But
I don't care about the difference. I don't care.
so the interesting point Kurt was
Yeah.
going to make
Yeah.
was that David Icke believes that giant blood-drinking, child-sacrificing, paedophile lizards secretly rule the world and have adopted human form. And everybody thinks David Icke's a nut. And then you've got Harvard psychologists and psychiatrists who believe that psychopaths have kind of adopted human form. You know, they pretend to be empathetic. So it's kind of the same theory.
It's the same conspiracy theory, but if you're not a cuckoo and a supposed smart person, you just switch out lizard men with psychopaths. And then you get to say all the same conspiratorial shit.
Yeah.
It's just like wanting to simplify a bunch of shit that's not simple.
But it's not like to malicious ends. It's like as a way to function in society and not be ostracized.
Right.
Sure. Well, yeah. And you know, they're kind of right. I think, I've met enough kind of real psychopaths to know that
Who's the real one that you
Welcome
talk
home,
to?
nigga.
Will I tell you one? Okay.
Just tell us about one you talked to and what.
This guy.
And leave your parents out of this, okay?
I spent time with a Haitian death squad leader called Toto Constant, who's now in jail in upstate New York for mortgage fraud.
And somehow that upstate jail's prison cell is better than Haiti. So why reward these guys?
He's the one who turned Haiti that way.
Why are we rewarding these guys?
Right. So I went to visit. I'd met him once before when he was a free man living in Queens. Basically, he got he got away with being a death squad leader.
Wait, what years was he doing? Was that like during Papa Doc Chevalier times or later?
Earlier,
it was
sooner.
It was Aristide. No, he was against Aristide.
Oh,
so I guess it's kind of mid-90s.
Right.
I'm rusty on my Haitian.
And their crimes are like what typical death squad crimes of raping, pillaging, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
And where was Wyclef? Am I right? I got it.
So he was like burning down housing projects and really sick stuff. And
with people inside the project.
Many stuff. Many people died at this guy's hands. So I met him. So basically, when I was like really young, I heard that he'd got away with all of this because he was secretly working for the CIA at the time.
Right.
And the deal that he did with the American government was that he could escape justice, but would have to live with his mother in Queens.
Now that's punishment.
Yeah, they got him good.
And he got to drive a city bus. You do it, you Haitian death squad leader. Q5, nigga. That's you. You driving a Q5.
And that man's name was Will Sylvans.
So anyway, and he was never allowed to go into Manhattan. That was part of his deal, was that he could never go into
He has
Manhattan.
to stay.
So he would stand in Queens and just look wistfully over at Manhattan.
Did they have like a ankle bracelet on him?
No, and in fact, he just went into Manhattan all the time. In fact,
Why
USA?
I don't understand why he couldn't go to Manhattan. Like, what was the...
I don't know.
White people?
The deal. I met him at the Mercer Hotel one time. Anyway, so...
Mercer?
Yeah, so I thought, this is a funny story. A death squad leader who lives with his mother. It's funny.
It's a sitcom, basically.
Yeah, I thought this is like a sitcom. So I went there, and it wasn't funny. There was nothing funny about it.
Turned out not to be.
So it was a Fox sitcom.
All he wanted to do was like kind of protest his innocence, and he started crying. Now this was the moment, right? I'm leading up to this moment. This is before I knew anything about psychopaths.
Right.
He started crying, and I looked at him, and he was only pretending to cry.
Right.
So, and
what did it look like? His pretending to cry,
like bad acting,
like just shitting your shoulder.
Whoa, like
bad. He was actually
basically,
he was taking his hands and rubbing his eyes.
Anyway,
wait, what happened?
He was fake crying.
He was fake crying.
So obviously, like he was like taking his hands over his eyes, like.
What does he play for Manchester United? Football joke.
Nice British joke.
I especially like that joke. And I'm glad you didn't say Arsenal.
No.
So I just let that pass me by because I didn't know what it meant. It felt kind of creepy. And then years later, when I was learning how to spot psychopaths, I realized that one of the items on the checklist, or a number of the items on the checklist, would speak to that moment.
Right.
So shallow affect, which is like an inability to experience a range of emotions.
Right.
So that you have to fake emotions. And also the charm is kind of glib and superficial. And I thought, this guy was like bad at pretending to cry. It was like he was So I decided to go back to see him a second time, and I found him in jail in upstate New York. And anyway, to cut a long story short, he kept on saying to me, I just want people to like me. Like, all I want is for people to like me. And over and over again he said it. So I said to him, well, isn't that a weakness, just wanting people to like you?
Right.
And he said, no, it's not a weakness. And I'll tell you why it's not. If you can get people to like you, you can manipulate them to do whatever you want them to do.
He just outright said that to you?
Yeah.
Is that also a side effect of like being in Haiti for so
Wow.
long, where he ran a death squad and didn't have to hide shit like that, and so he didn't even know better to?
Like, you shouldn't mention that in mixed conversation, mixed company.
Yeah, like-
you fucking
like-
asshole. Hey, Kareth. Kareth's
Kareth
in. Kareth
Foster
Foster's in
came
the
in.
building.
Hey.
You can grab
What
that
is this
chair right
weird
over there.
background noise I'm hearing?
What? That was when the door
Is
was
that
open.
outside? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But no, what I thought.
Welcome,
at the time-
Kareth.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for having me.
No doubt.
Do you know John Ronson?
You know Kristen?
Hello.
Kristen
Christine.
Nagel? Christine Nagel?
Nagel.
That's right. Now
Yeah.
I'm mispronouncing the first name.
It's all right.
All right, so can I finish what you're saying?
Just
Christine
what
Nagel.
I thought at the time was that this is really interesting, and this sort of tallies with what like professional psychopath researchers say, which is that they're just not very good at it. It's like it's all skin deep, and you get this kind of weird sense that there's just nothing going on under the surface.
Can I
We're talking about
ask a
psychopaths,
question?
by the way. He wrote a book on psychopaths.
So when I think of like con men or people that like con someone out of their life savings or something, I always think of them as a psychopath, but they've been able to con people and they've been able to fool people.
Right.
Where does that fall?
Okay, this
here,
is
a
just
little bit
my
closer, yeah.
sort of spending a couple of years like in this world. Like what I would say is that they're good at it for a while, and this is in the checklist, that like they're good at it for a while. They can fool you for a while, but after a while you get this kind of eerie sense that there's
Yeah.
something weird going on,
Yes.
and that it's all just surface.
It was the third time for me, and it was my uncle.
Which I think is
It was
one of
weird.
the reasons why they tend to be really good at kind of short cons. They're good at kind of getting it, like hedge fund managers.
Can children
Getting
be
So like Bernie
psychopaths?
Madoff.
Well, on the checklist.
Oh yeah, talk more into
Oh
that.
yeah,
just-
shit.
yeah.
Has no one heard like anything that I've said?
I
Nothing.
think we
Zero.
did, but I just want to make sure.
But we nodded
Because
like a
it's
bunch
good
of
shit.
You're talking
Psychopaths.
about the health benefits of corn, right? I heard that. I heard all of it.
Okay, so on the checklist, it
I have
says.
small children. I need to know this.
Okay, well, on the checklist, it says it starts like at the age of like 10 or 11. However, you can just imagine how much kind of injustice comes from statements like that if you're not like a great psychopath researcher, like if you're just somebody who reads the checklist. Because, kids are nuts,
Yeah.
Yeah, assholes.
Well, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. Aren't they all
Just
kind
asses.
of like psychopaths, and they just don't grow out of it if they're a psychopath?
I guess-
You know?
Well, what Robert Hare would say, who's like the king of psychopath research, is like, so at the age of 10 to 12, they start behaving like really badly. But he's saying like, you're talking like extreme. You're talking like killing animals, getting expelled.
Well, this
Right.
story just
Like,
happened this week that this young kid, 8-year-old,
Yeah.
he was left alone with other 8-year-olds and the younger kids because the two women who were the mothers went out to clubbing,
No.
stayed out to
Okay.
2:30 at night. Apparently, a 2-year-old baby, 1.5-year-old baby girl was crying in the crib. The 8-year-old boy took the baby out the crib, beat it, killed it, and then put it back in the crib.
Okay, but
The
see,
mothers
yeah,
came
okay.
home at 2:30 a.m.,
Yeah.
didn't check on the children till the next morning.
That's what I want to ask them.
And this is what I want to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You see, this is what I was getting this kind of sense when I was writing the psychopath test, that one real weakness in the psychopath spotting world is that nobody cares. They're so in love with the checklist, they don't care about like the circumstances, like
Right.
the family
Right.
circumstances. And so with my new book about public shaming, I go much more into like I met this psychiatrist who said that all violence is an attempt to replace shame with self-esteem. And that speaks much more to my sort of humanist, my kind of humanist view, because
Yeah.
otherwise, if you're just talking about checklists and you don't care about families and you don't care about kind of abuse within families and so on,
Right.
you're looking at humans almost as if they're another species, So that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
problem with the psychopath spotting field, I think.
Well, that's what I like about the book too, because just your shit in general is you're not this glib because now you go online and fucking people decide. Look, well, he's a psychopath. Look at his tweet, his one tweet.
Yeah,
and you're like,
all the
really,
time.
dickhead? You're gonna?
Can you tell by the tweet, Johnny? Can you tell by a tweet?
No, but what I can tell is that the people who tell by the tweet have lost their fucking moral
Yes.
compass and then come after me when I point it out.
What's what's the difference? Can I just between? I've never understood the differences. I never got a good explanation. What's a sociopath and a psychopath? What's the difference?
Okay, so what I heard, and then in fact, This American Life kind of did their own fact checking on this and came to the same conclusion, which is basically that there's no difference.
Oh.
It's
Is that
all-
the CNN show?
that's the public radio show.
Okay.
Yeah, Ira Glass. And
Oh,
because
right,
they
right.
did a thing on my book, and so they went and did a fact check on this. And basically, it's kind of backroom politics. It's like the people who use the word psychopath don't really like the people who use the word sociopath, and none of
Right.
them like the people who use antisocial personality
It's
disorder.
like the Crips and the Bloods. Huh? They sound like the
Yeah,
Crips and the Bloods
it's
to
like
me.
the Crips and the Bloods. But
I'm getting this.
so some people will say, no, a sociopath is this and a psychopath is this. But then other people will say, no. It's like, but in the end, it's all kind of basically the same thing.
It's all the same shit.
It's all basically the same shit.
So they're
It's
not
somebody you
separated-
don't want in your house.
They're not separated by like violent tendencies versus just manipulative mind games.
Well, some people will say that, but they're people who've just made that definition, you know, in their offices, in their universities. It's not, you know, it's a fluid thing. And in fact, because a lot of people criticize Robert Hare, who uses the word psychopath all the time, for talking too
Who's
much.
Robert Hare, just for the listeners?
He's a Canadian psychologist who kind of pretty much owns the term psychopath.
I'm sorry. I started laughing when you said Canadian. I just can't stop. I just laugh. I laugh when I hear it.
And I know that some people criticize him for that very reason. Like they say he concentrates like too much on violent criminal psychopaths when in fact most psychopaths never commit any violent crimes.
Right.
But how do you know when, like, if somebody might snap and go to the violent part of it?
Well, it's funny, I was thinking about this morning. I did this corporate talk at this wealth managers conference back in March.
There's a lot of ass in there?
Well, because they loved like...
A lot of ass. Sound like there's a lot of ass in this event. A lot of girls walking around, nigga.
And this guy came up to me at the end
My
in
apologies.
a suit and said, like, I'm a psychopath. My boss knows I'm a psychopath. Like, it's just a good skill to fall back on. You know, when you want to sort of manipulate somebody in business and get your way, I kind of fall back on the skill. But like, I'm never going to like be violent or beat anyone up. And so, you know, maybe the difference is you know.
So if you own it, it's okay.
The same is true when you're washing hair at a salon. Like, it helps. I'm not kidding. Like, I seen it help.
Being a psychopath?
Yeah.
How so, Philly girl?
Well, if you actually want me to go into the story,
I do.
like, sometimes, like, you go in and you're like, no, just give me a trim. And they, like, want to give you what they want. They want to give you what they want to give you.
Right.
Oftentimes, it's the haircut that she's got. And who is it up to change your mind? The hair washing girl. I swear to God, I ain't never got my hair washed at a hairdresser without it being a psychopath washing my hair.
Okay.
That's all I have to add.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Philly girl.
Yeah, more than fair, I would say.
She's making this whole topic human. It makes it more human to me. Now I get it.
Philly girl's like, one time my friend Mike stabbed my other friend Mike.
And nobody said nothing.
Yeah, she knows psychopaths.
That's why I think conspiracies can work, is because nobody said nothing when Mike stabbed Mike.
That's a good. That's a good
Not
point.
even Mike, and he was bleeding.
You don't run your mouth in Philly.
Nah.
So then your other book is called So You've Been Publicly Shamed.
Yeah.
And how much have you, because you just briefly mentioned that before about like people turning on you. Like really, because you're just a fair dude, I think. Like, so how
Yeah.
do people turn on you and what's the thing they're turning on you about?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it all stems from something that happened back in February where
Dream sequence.
the New York Times ran an extract from the book, and the extract was sympathetic towards this woman called Justine Sacco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sympathetic towards her, yes.
Who had tweeted, going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS.
Oh, right.
Just kidding, I'm white. So I'm like the only person who's interviewed Justine, and I'm kind of like a
But
sort
by
of...
the way,
Did you
that's
send my
not the
regards?
only- yeah, that's the only, not just that tweet, which by the way, I have no idea why someone would fucking act like that's a big deal. But she had another tweet about like, last night I dreamt I had sex with an autistic boy
Yeah.
or some shit, which I found hilarious.
Right.
The shit that's not any worse than anything Sarah Silverman would fucking say.
People were mad that she tweeted about her dreams, which is infuriating. Don't
You know
do
what?
it.
I didn't look at it that way.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we don't want to know what you're dreaming about.
But the
Yeah.
shit that people were jumping down her throat for
Yeah.
is like...
Well, the reason why I was
yeah.
sympathetic towards it, I mean, like in a nutshell, is that, you know, it was a bad combination of words without any doubt. But what she was trying to do was be like Trey Parker, you know, she was trying to like she was trying to acknowledge her privilege and mock it. But while she was asleep on the plane and completely unable to explain her joke to anybody, Twitter just dismantled her life.
Yeah, but here's the
Yeah.
thing with trying too. Trying's for retards and babies. Adults don't like to see other adults try stuff.
Right.
It makes us
Listen,
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't like it.
But
So either do it or don't do it, bitch.
No, but she
Own
did
it.
do it. She did do it.
Did she
There's no
apologize?
reason-
Yeah,
First
she
of all,
apologized.
She didn't have
Own it.
shit to apologize for.
She should've owned
so
it.
fucking what? Read
Yeah.
the fucking AIDS statistics if you don't fucking like it. I'm sorry, reality isn't to your liking.
Well, the
but
white man
idea
put the AIDS
someone
over
was
there,
gonna
so that's
jump-
how that happened.
No,
the white
they
man put the
didn't.
AIDS over there.
White men weren't chopping up chin meat.
I'm glad you're
What?
taking
No, not
this,
chopping people
Kurt.
up.
Normally
Putting
I'm
AIDS over
full
there
of
is what I
episode
said.
Yeah, they didn't do
Putting
that.
AIDS over
What
there.
nonsense? Go ahead.
Yeah,
What did you
AIDS
say?
came from somewhere.
Well-
That's your next book, AIDS, where AIDS come from?
It comes from the simian immune virus that leapt to humans from too much contact.
Well, I mean, there was that, but also, she said when I asked her to explain the joke to me was living in America puts us in a bit of a bubble when it comes to what's going on in the third world, and I was trying to make fun of that bubble. So, which I think, it's kind of valid. I mean, I think
is valid.
I think it's a bad example of an honourable comedy tradition.
Exactly.
That Randy Newman's done, all sorts of good people have
And by
done.
the way, it's not even that. I don't even understand what. Let's say
I
she
don't know why
wasn't
she's
doing
shocked
that.
why she lost her job. I don't know why you wouldn't lose your job over that.
Because Twitter.
Why?
Well, I mean,
Because
Why should you lose your
Because her job
job?
don't want to be part of
a
that.
comedian. She wasn't a comedian, first of all. So if Sarah Silverman had said it,
Yes.
it would have been like, oh, that's Sarah.
They
trying
go
to be
after
funny.
her too. They
Well,
go
I
after
know,
comedians.
I know.
also.
But most people give it with a
I
grain of
just wrote
salt
an
if it's
article
coming
about
from a
that this
comic.
morning. But it's one
Yes.
of those things that at least she would have had an excuse, if you will, as a comedian, as somebody who's supposed to be using humor. She was making a social statement that was totally misconstrued. It got blown out of proportion, and her life was decimated. And
Right.
was it
Yes.
fair? No.
That's right.
it
There was a
wasn't.
post on the
you
Carrots
know who
today
did that?
in the New York Post. They wrote an article about.
I wrote it.
You wrote it. I'm
I
sorry.
wrote the
Let's
article.
talk about what it is.
Well, we're actually in the same movie, John and I.
Wait, wait, wait.
Oh,
And the film
this-
that's coming out on Friday.
Huh?
Have you
Bringing
seen
it all
it yet?
together.
What's the film?
Yeah. Can we take a joke?
Yes.
Oh,
And the
can
answer
we?
is- the abridged
They
version
in-
is no.
They invited me to the premiere, but then I
yeah.
thought, what if I'm sitting in there and I don't like that, and I feel like embarrassed by the
Why?
well, because you never know you're going to get.
No, we're going to be there. Most rides open.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be there Friday,
What?
but I got some bad news.
Shut up.
Well, it's good news for me. But I'm going to Levity Live with Tracy Morgan for the whole weekend.
Oh, cool.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
All right.
I know. I didn't want it to be,
I
but
was so looking forward to working with you.
I know I
guys.
wanted to do it. I was all excited about it.
I
Tracy asked me
know.
last night,
Damn it.
What? How?
and I can't not do that.
Does anybody agree with this or not? Like, just the idea.
But it's going to be a great event Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Just the idea that the fucking jokes, because I've had this argument about 1 billion fucking times. Because I'm like, the reason I took this job, like certainly if you work at wherever, you can't joke how you want. I get that. There's a fucking business.
Right.
But I picked this job specifically not to abide by HR horseshit.
Right.
That's why I took this job.
Comedy you
And
made
there's
it.
a whole group of people now that thinks it's their job to step in
Yeah.
and tell me, a fucking professional, how the fuck I'm supposed to do my job. And I chalk it up to two things. One, nobody respects stand-up comedy. It's the lowest rung
Only
of show
us. We
business.
only respect
Absolutely.
ourselves.
It's much like porn star. It's a job everyone thinks they can do. Everyone thinks they can do it. If I ever want to do porn, I could be in porn.
Until they get under that
If I wanna-
dick.
yeah. So that's how you get a fucking, like that.
That pro
fucking-
dick, nigga. Until you get under that pro dick,
But that-
and you
that-
see that your pussy is a fucking novice. A rookie, if you will.
No,
Like that.
because we had Lisa Ann. She was
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Belle
I had-
Knox was the big champion feminist hero for doing porn.
Right.
And Lisa was like, she was not cut out to do porn. She shouldn't have had no business being. She probably should have just got therapy.
Yeah.
I had never been in this shit, but because everybody was in a hurry to be like, how brave.
Yeah. In Lisa Ann's words, she couldn't take a punch. Donkey punch.
Well, the
Right.
stupidity of
Got it,
writing,
man.
because I read that girl's article.
Yeah.
And she gave her credit for being a decent writer, which she was, Belle
Yeah,
Knox.
she was.
But her article's like, she did porn, then it's like, and then the unthinkable happened. People found out. Was that unthinkable to you, Belle? That you might make a porn and then college
That
kids?
college boys will find a porn?
Yeah, like this is where
Stupid.
maybe she goes, what offends me is the idea I was a little girl who didn't know what I was getting into. You exactly were a little girl that didn't know what you were getting into.
So is she like now out of the business and kind of distancing herself and thinking that she was, that there
Yes.
was a mistake?
Yes. Well, Lisa, I mean, you're going to talk to Lisa,
Yeah,
right?
I
She'll
had
tell
I
you.
had breakfast with Lisa on the day that she went on your show.
Whoa, breakfast, nigga. That means you spent the night with her. Breakfast? Yeah, had breakfast, lunch, dinner, and breakfast?
I loved. I thought she was great.
I know
She
the
is
song.
great. Lisa,
I think that what Belle Knox did can be both brave and a mistake. Like I don't feel like it has
Yeah.
to be either feminist or like
Right, one or the
wrong.
other. It don't
Like
have to
I
be.
think it's complicated.
Well, I don't have
Yeah.
a problem. The porn thing, I would never. We got into arguing with somebody who was like, you shaming her for being in porn. Like, I'm not
I
gonna
would
do
never do that.
I watch porn. Why would I shame you?
I'm the biggest fucking consumer of porn.
Yeah, what I'm against is the disingenuousness of pretending like you didn't know what it was when you did it. Like that shock is like, well, then you dumb to say that. Like, but there's nothing of, oh, you're a whore because everybody loves whores. But what I don't like is a disingenuous.
Like she tried to pretend like she
you don't
didn't
think
know
it's
it was porn?
possible that she like just didn't think it through? Like
I think it's exactly that. I think it's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But what she was doing was saying, you're wrong to say, A, I didn't think it through, and B, it's short-sighted. She was literally saying that's what's wrong.
So that was, she took issue with that, not all of the shaming she got on
both of it. But the shaming.
But you can't be on two sides then of the coin, can you?
That's all I was saying. But apparently I'm shaming. It's like people cannot just let you make your one point. You have to be all or nothing with these fucking things. So if I'm not completely on she's brilliant, then I'm like...
I have this controversial idea that we can all contain multitudes. And that
Twitter does not share that with you.
I know, I agree. Yeah. What was the second thing you were going to say, Kurt, about why you were mad?
Wait, why
the
I
first
was
one
mad?
You were saying that.
Well, she used teeth when she gave
no,
blowjobs?
the idea, like, first of all, there's a lot of girls who pay their way through school.
Gareth, I did just
No,
say
you said the first thing you said was like people don't respect stand-up comedy.
My freedom of
Oh,
speech.
thank you.
I'm getting us back on topic.
Yes.
You got it.
This is the thing that fucking upsets me. So when the famous Lindy West's open letter to white male comics, which, by the way, why is it just to the white males?
Who is this chick?
Lindy, the one that argued with Jim Norton.
Oh, thank you, Lindy, is it?
Yeah.
For not bugging me with your letter. Continue.
Yeah, no, she
Thank you, Lindy.
Personally, I like getting mail. I don't care what it is. I like opening mail.
Just the hacky thing of writing the open letter, which has got to go. It's the number one hack thing.
Yes.
But then while this dippy fucking pig is writing rules for me,
Dude.
a professional, the nerve of you, some Seattle punk, who, by the way, even in Seattle, if you're like doing, I know some funny people from there, but for the most part, that's a soft ass crowd. And for you to fucking, comedy's a hostile space for women in Seattle. Where do you go in fucking soft ass Seattle that you encounter hostility to you?
Listen,
other
maybe
than
she
the
does.
fact you're not funny.
Maybe they're trying to make the female comics in Seattle wear deodorant.
Let me say, like, I think
like a Gareth's face.
Go ahead.
I've been like, not to single out Pittsburgh, but like that's partly where I came up, and like there was like one time I like literally looked to see where the exits were. Like
that happened to you one time. That's my whole first 5 years of comedy.
And your last 5.
But you're not a stand-up though, right?
I was at that time. I was doing stand-up.
Okay.
I didn't do it for a long time, but what that was one example of.
Yeah, what did happen?
What happened?
The room was all men,
we lost
even
Joe.
the audience, and the only women were me, my friend, the waitress, and one of the comics' moms.
Okay,
this sounds like a scene from The Accused.
And yeah, I know, and like there was just I can't really give concrete examples because I feel like I blocked it out, but like. The jokes were all so angry and so aggressive, and like a couple of them were like these like really poorly thought out rape jokes. And I just like remember being like, I get it. Like people like go on about like how comedy is like you know, kind of what we're talking about now, but like a lot of the people that weigh in on it, and I think everyone can weigh in on it, are talking about LA rooms or New York rooms where it's like really different. We were like in like the basement of a bar in Pittsburgh, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it out of here alive.
I had something like that happen to me in New Jersey.
Welcome to every black room.
Yeah,
but in New Jersey, I was doing a bit about like growing up in Plano and it having the ethnic diversity of a Klan rally, and people applauded. In fucking New Jersey, like 40 miles.
Oh, Jersey's
outside
heavy
of
Klan, by the way.
Were they applauding?
Jersey's heavy Klan, by the way.
And that's what I said. No,
what were they applauding?
I go, I'm sorry. I go, are you applauding for my brilliant joke or for the Klan? And they're like, the Klan.
So don't make no mistake about it.
Well, that sounds like both shitty comedy comedians that you're talking about,
but it doesn't
and a
mean
shitty
it doesn't
crowd.
exist.
I didn't say it doesn't exist. What I'm saying is, if comedy like sucks, it sucks. Like no one's gonna defend that. She didn't say dear open micers that are something. She said dear white male comedians, which includes me. Now, first of all, the rooms I fucking started in, it would be police tape and stabbings and trails of blood. And I mean,
but the best pay though. But the best pay.
The best pay on a weekday for sure.
You're welcome. Yeah. Black rooms.
No. This is what I appreciate about the black rooms is going through that shit. Because I would be an alternative comic, like half a poet with a sketch pad drawing triangles for the other half of my act. I went to art school. I did poetry readings before I did comedy.
Oh my God. Let me enjoy that for a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
You have a
So every instinct that I had.
I told you we contain multitudes. Kurt Metzger was a poet.
Yeah.
Kurt was a fucking permissive bottom.
But my poems were like, I was trying to be funny, but I just didn't know
Who is the man?
Well, whatever. The point is, luckily, because those black rooms are so rough,
Right.
they beat the fucking preciousness
They
out
got
of
it out
me.
of you. They got it out
So
of you.
that shit of like, I don't feel, because I never felt, first of all, and I say this every time, it's the same as starting out as a female comic, being the only white guy in an all black room. It's the same. The same.
Says
I give you
the
that.
white
And you know what that
male.
black crowd is?
100% it's the same.
You know what that black crowd is?
What?
Earth. And you come in there as filthy water. And you run through that fucking earth and it cleans you out. It filters you from all your gates.
Because here's what happens. They go.
That's what happened.
Here's why it's the same. Who's this bitch? To me,
Yeah.
this ain't gonna be funny. I'm gonna see you after the show, bitch. All that shit of
So
not,
you heard me.
I
Yeah.
get the same thing after I open my mouth.
Yes, all that shit of not feeling safe. I had to go through that. And by the way, I didn't feel safe.
But can I say,
I did not feel
Good.
safe.
To your
I'm
other
good.
point-
I didn't. First
You
of all, just to
shouldn't
do comedy.
Yeah.
The idea that you should have like an easy time, and on this, nobody should fucking be like, I'm gonna rape you or anything like that. But you to just be good at it. If you don't go through that kind of hostile shit or hostile room, you can't be good at it. You just can't.
It's a rite of passage.
It's
I think
100%.
I agree. I think it's a rite of passage. I think you have to really want it to
But the
put
right-
up with that stuff for sure.
The rite of passage come in different forms, though.
But just the fact you think you should get paid to tell people your sideways thoughts,
But hold
which is
on.
what I think, that arrogance, you deserve to be
That's-
humiliated.
You just hit the nail on the head. It's
Yeah.
arrogance. All of this it's either arrogance or fear, and that is what makes all of these issues keep going.
But here's what I
But why
learned.
can't she just
Yeah.
say that and you just ignore it? Like why is it like
I'll tell you why.
get to tell
Why is
you-
it
I'll
under
tell
your
you why.
skin,
she
Kurt?
gets to say no and you can say okay now I
Well,
don't
because
agree
she
with you.
wouldn't respect my. Like, here's the thing: she can totally say whatever she wants, no matter how dingbat it is. But her whole camp does not respect me being allowed to then
To
say
say
what
what you-
I want.
Right.
In fact, literally, she goes, "No, something about free." She goes, "I don't think jokes should be an entirely unregulated market." Yeah. No, see, nobody read her words. I read her article. I read it.
Well,
word
it
for
was
word.
written to you. Why would I read it? I don't go through your stuff.
Right. Well, the reason it's not the black men, but the reason it's not the black men is because
Thank you,
that's all that fucks her. And I get why she's
that-
mad at white
come on.
men.
Is she getting that fucked
it's
by
a
black
fact.
dudes?
No, guys,
Yes,
you
her
don't need
husband-
to. You don't
Oh,
have
let
to
me
go
know
there
this.
on
Her-
this.
He
it's
don't
a
have to go
fact.
there, but he
Her
opened that
husband's
can, so I wanna
name-
hear it.
Her husband's name, the black guy who I think she's a beard for
It's
this
Billy
guy.
Burr? Billy Burr? Is it Billy
it's,
Burr?
It's a shortened African
nailed
name.
it.
It's a ham. She literally married a ham. Anyway,
Did you see a picture of him?
yeah.
Because this might just be a Seattle dude. Who
I'm
changed
kosher,
his fucking-
so.
But whatever, it's Seattle, so whatever. But the point is, what
So
I
you
learned
think that
was,
affects her opinion that she's dating somebody black?
hey, somebody's got to get Karen in. Will you get her in?
I would like to say that
You
I
think
think
that-
I think
okay.
a lot of times
Oh, Jesse Riley.
this
put
is
that on the
generally
thing.
speaking that a lot of like white feminists will be like, well, white men, like dear white men or whatever, and I think
Right.
it's because they're afraid to be racist.
That's the key.
They
That's
said they just can't say dear men.
Exactly.
That's right.
No, I think I think they're trying to
But if you're
address.
gonna call a group, of
They're
people
trying to
out,
address
call everybody
privilege.
out.
They're trying.
However,
yeah, they're trying to keep it.
it's
yeah.
like it's like afraid to go
Right.
after black men specifically. I think
Yeah.
you don't want to look racist.
Which
I'll
I
go
would,
after
I would
black men
respect.
all day.
see,
That's
look,
for dates, though.
But look, that's what I don't respect is you're not more enlightened because you picked one group to put all the woes of the world on and then take the shit
Right, I
that
agree.
they don't even do and go, well, I can only hit this one group. And her entire philosophy of comedy is there's only one group it's okay to make fun of. Just take all her writing and switch out white males with Jews and you've got 30s fucking German propaganda.
Right.
It's that like, if it weren't for this one group.
I see what you're saying.
But whatever, that's all fine. We'll say all the dumb shit you want.
We got to get her on this show, by the way.
But she wouldn't come on because they won't.
I'll talk to
Notice how
her.
Aaron from Jezebel came on
Listen,
because
how
she's
but
respectable.
how you talk
Yeah.
about her? Why would she want to come into a
I
small
didn't
room?
talk about her this way until all the other bullshit was said about me. So we're way past that point. In
But
fact,
if-
all of these people I'm nice to, they fucking make up shit and to not come on because they're cowards. And after they do that, I'm not going to show them respect. They
What
suck.
do they think Kurt's going to do to them?
I don't know. If someone talks
It's
about me
not
like
my
that,
safe
I would
space.
not want to be in. Here
I
with
didn't
them.
talk about her before that happened. In fact, I had just tried to have a reasonable conversation with her before she blocked with no insults. It never starts out with me insulting anyone when I talk to them. What they do is make up some shit of like, now you're harassing me. All I did was say, hi, you want to be on my show?
How does
That's not
this?
harassment.
How does this affect your life now? The fact that this happened.
Totally affects his life. Have you seen him talk about it? Just
Yeah,
No,
I had
that's
that.
what I'm- no, I'm asking for real.
I had that one dingbat try to get me fired from the show. Now, Amy would have never fired me.
Right.
However, just the fact that it went up to Comedy Central, where I had to fucking.
Wow.
And it wasn't Lindy West. It wasn't Lindy West.
It was a different
It
thing.
was Voldemort. We won't say her name, but she's a lunatic.
Voldemort.
And she literally writes, "I just want to
Harry
see
Potter,
a man
right?
destroyed." Like she, in her own words, she just wants a man destroyed. So this guy,
We all kind of do.
Sam Morrell, you know Sam Morrell. This was during the great
Right,
rape
right.
joke wars of
America, Sam Morril is a comedian. America doesn't know. I just want to tell
And
America.
that's, by the way, where this girl who should have remained unnamed, what she's stupid is she goes after people who aren't anybody to try to be a barnacle. They're all trying to be a barnacle on your ship when they do this. I'm going
Right.
to find a bigger name. I'm going to do it. Takedown.
Is she a sociopath, John? Is she a sociopath?
No, I think she's got.
Psychopath.
I think no, I don't think she's a psychopath either. I think she has a mental illness, but it's not that. I think she's just one of these girls that projects her shit. And this is the thing, the same thing with men, like those like incels.
I want to talk to this girl. I want
Well,
to get her own
she'll
words,
never speak-
not through Kurt's mouth. I want to hear her say her side.
Go
She
ahead.
won't come on. Maybe I can talk to her.
You
Maybe we can
can't.
send Philly girl to go get her.
You can't.
Philly
That's-
girl can go round her up, have an interview
Dude,
away
Amy,
from you.
Like a
Amy
badass.
tweeted the writer's room, okay, and forgot my name on it. And this girl, who I don't speak to or talk to or say her name, I don't tweet at her. It's like 52 tweets, like, finally, Amy Schumer, old Yellered Kurt Metzger. Like, she was like, I'm going to send balloons. She's like planning a party because she thinks I've been fired.
Because Amy sent that out of like a fake
She,
firing.
no, it wasn't.
She
a
just
fake. She just
forgot.
forgot to put my name. So some guy goes, this girl's going on. I'm like, what? And I'm looking at, I'm like, and then Amy's like, oh no, Kurt's a producer now. And all of a sudden she's radio. Fuck you.
Oh God, that makes me
But
happy.
here's what I dared to do to bring this wrath on me and have all this insane
Yeah.
slanderous shit. I got 2 articles from the Daily Dot about me that are
Right.
both insane. In fact, when I read them, I'm like, I'm pretty funny actually.
I think we need an excerpt from one of those
I
articles.
would love to show
John,
you.
we don't
Yeah,
have-
I wanna
Find
know-
it. Will you go?
We wanna
see-
know what's ahead. John
Find
wants
the
to
one
know.
about
I wanna know what
Twitter
the-
person.
Daily Dot.
Amy Schumer writer harasses Twitter personality. If that's your job, you should kill yourself. By the way,
Whoa! My granddaddy is
a Twitter personality.
Yes, she is. She got some curtain things she's
Well,
got going.
Tell her I'm going to miss her. But,
She's selling curtains. Let her
so
work.
this guy Sam Morrell. This girl was at Caroline's and saw him do this joke about.
There are like
he goes,
2 Karens coming in the room right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's Karen
Yeah.
and haircut Jesse's
Jesse's
here.
here, yeah. Hey,
Jesse,
guys.
Kurt, you want me to read it
Yeah, go ahead. You know what? Just read
Yeah.
it.
from the top?
Yeah.
There are plenty of ways to get someone to be on your podcast, but for comedian Kurt Metzger, it requires a lot more aggression than one think. On Tuesday, Twitter...
Okay, wait, stop before you get in. Let me tell you what happened.
I'm for it so far.
Let me just tell you how this started. Some other comic, he made a joke about how his girlfriend, like, she turned out to be bisexual, but like never with him. Like, so you never got some lame joke about never getting a 3-way. Lame joke, utterly harmless. Somebody named Literal Porn jumped down his throat and goes, "Why don't you learn how to satisfy one woman before you disappoint 2?" Now she
That's an
doesn't
old
know
joke,
him.
by the way.
Right. By the way, she's the one who's funnier than any white male. This chick, Literal Porn. So she jumps down his throat. So he
So
just
why is it jumping down his throat and not making a joke?
fair enough to make the joke.
Fair
Now,
enough.
no problem with that. So he goes back like, okay, thanks for your input, internet ass model. Okay, now here's where.
Let me laugh.
Now, yeah, okay.
That was for you, Gavin.
Listen. I told, hey, you want to jump on something on Twitter? Go right ahead. So then he answered back and said, thanks for the input, internet ass model. About 100 people that know her fucking Twitter bombard him with he's a misogynist, like this crazy shit. So he wrote to me on Facebook. I wasn't even going to look at it because I
Which
was
isn't
like,
her fault, but she could have called them off.
No, she asked them to do it. They do this.
okay.
She rallied
This
them.
crazy bitch actually does this shit and then demands that you pay her for
No.
educating you. That's a whole new thing on Twitter where like
No.
they're like these porno feminists like, I don't have time to educate you. And they have a PayPal. I thought it was her blog I was clicking on. It's a PayPal account.
Shut the
so you
front
can
door.
pay her for the privilege of her blathering at you. I'm not making this up. So 100 people are up his ass now.
That's like homeless people who say, pay
needs
me
to get
to insult
married.
you.
Yeah, pay
needs
me
some
to
dick.
educate
That's what
you.
I said. She
100
needs some
people
dick
are
in
up his
it.
ass now. So
Regular.
I
Regularly.
listen, I was like, I don't care about that. I'm like, well, dude, ignore him. They go away. So just out of course, my stupid curiosity, I got to look at this. I mean, it's crazy the shit that's on this guy for this one thing because he dared answer back this fucking dipshit. So by the way, I thought she was black based on, it was all caps. tweets, all caps and like black speak.
Oh yeah, I
Kids
did see her
allowed?
tweets before.
Yeah. So
Okay, wait, so hold on.
You thought it was a black girl in the movie?
Because she goes, white
in the movie
boy
theater?
white boy be like, hey. So they just went on and on.
No.
Oh, she's awful.
No, she did not
Okay.
type it like that.
Yes, she
can't
certainly
wait.
did.
I'm offended
Tweets.
now.
I'm
Wait.
so
I'm just offended by all caps.
Right. Oh no. Okay. So wait. So you then I'll let you read the story. But hold on. So then I'm looking. I'm like. So then I felt bad for this guy. I'm like, look, dude. Here's what happened. She's a prostitute. She's probably some John probably tried to do anal without her permission, and she wants to hurt a man. And you're the guy. She probably has PTSD. I'm making fun of her just a little bit. Okay.
Right.
But then I talk to her and I go, listen, ignore whatever I said to you on the thing. I think you're interesting. Okay. Like, do you want to just like call on the show? Like, you could say whatever you want. You can call us any names you want. They say they have the transcript. Okay. After I did that, she didn't respond to me. She went to a bunch of people and said, Kurt Metzger is harassing me.
Yeah, she sent me a message that said
Okay.
that.
Now, after she
I
said Kurt
agreed.
Metzger is harassing me, I go, you know what? You're a punk. I gave you a chance. And then I started making fun of her after.
Yes, that's what I wanna
But
get
they
to.
switched the order in the article. They make it like I was just doing all this first, and then I was pretending to be. That's not what happened. She made up a fake harassment thing. I made fun of her because I found out she's Korean.
Is she?
Yeah.
Is she?
Because she kept going.
Taking our jobs?
Yeah, she kept going POC. I go, hey, Rachel Dolachong.
I'm
No
gonna
one
get
cares.
there.
Okay, good.
Don't blow it.
So I just want you to understand the timelines that they're reversing.
right,
So read what they wrote.
On
Let's hear it.
Tuesday, Twitter user Literal Porn became the latest recipient of harassing tweets from the Inside Amy Schumer writer. Metzger, host of the podcast Race Wars with Sherrod Small, big ups, what
No
up?
doubt, son.
Responded to an exchange between @LiteralPorn and another comedian who commented on her use of all caps in tweets. She responded, how come unfunny white boys always complain about caps lock? Hours later...
First of all, Kurt's funny. You can call him a lot of things, but not funny is not
They
one.
don't know anything about me. They fucking make up a
I
straw
love you,
man.
though, and
That's
I
what
wanted
they
to say it. Okay,
Hours later,
Thank you.
Metzger chimed in with a barrage of tweets, first claiming to not understand what she found so offensive about the initial comedian's tweet. Soon after, he became fixated on her use of white boy, quickly escalating with each post. I woke up to my Twitter mentions full from this guy commenting on some tweets from yesterday at Literal Porn told the Daily Dot via email. His tweets range from misogynistic slut-shaming to racist. Here are the tweets. First tweet. Hey, Rachel Dolagong, a.k.a. Princess Claudia.
Claudia.
Oh, it's just misspelled. When you type all caps, you seem illiterate. That's why you want to learn lowercase, moron. Haha, princess. Your new name is Rachel Dolagong. Just want to tell you that before you're blocked. Learn to use lowercase letters, dumbass.
Yeah, it's
You're
like
a
that
dumb
one.
racist, and being called white boy is the worst insult in your world. I think an Asian faking black is worse, Rachel Dolagong. And you're blocked, Princess Silly Brain. I gave you a chance. You're a punk and a coward. I'd have respect. I would have respected you if you, and then the art.
They cut out. They selectively cut out.
Yeah, if
but
you-
see the barrage. She goes. I
There's like
woke up
20
to a
more
barrage.
tweets, it's the best.
She spent all day harassing this guy
Right.
with hundreds of people. But then now I'm a victim. That's why I don't respect.
Hey,
Hey,
Kurt, how come you ain't never called me Princess Silly Brain?
because I'll tell you why, Philly girl, aka
She was royalty.
I mean,
'Cause
I would
listen-
appreciate at least one nickname.
No, we used to call you Nargle, but I just started an angle instead. But
That sucks.
Oh, wait, so
Yeah,
here's
no,
where
no.
you invite her. There's a bunch of tweets.
I did invited her first before that shit.
Right,
Now
right.
they're cutting out all the shit she said about me. They're leaving that out, reversing the order. Right?
Right. What did she say about you, though? What
Read
did
the email I sent to her before I said any insults
So it
to her.
says, but I promise you can say whatever you want on the show. I say whatever the fuck I want all the time, so I like people like that. Let me know. We'd be honored to have you. The show is called Race Wars, Kurt Metzger and Sherrod Small. What up, what up? Google us. Look forward to hearing from you. Sorry if I tweeted anything that upset you. I just talk how I want, and I don't give a fuck. I'm not like the other white boys. Haha. I came out of the Philly black comedy circuit. I bet we can have more in common than you think. And then...
Aw.
There's you can take it from there.
Well, no, read the thing that says after
So,
that.
according to her account, Literal Porn opened her direct message to find these lengthy messages where he tries to play nice after the fact and invites me.
Before the fact, yeah, fuck it. All right, guys.
And invites me on his podcast. After receiving the invitation, she posted the contrasting messages. He was really reactive to the fact that I posted screenshots of his messages and tweets showing how psychotic and two-faced his behavior was. He blocked me when receipts were being tweeted at him.
That's their new language. I hate this or their language so much.
It's not the
I
first-
have a receipt.
Wait, it's not the
Yeah.
first time Metzger has been accused of harassing women online. In 2013, the Daily... Here comes the history.
Hold on. This name, literal porn. Hold on, 1 second.
Yes, sir.
She's a fucking like porno person. If you look her up, the reason it's literal
does porn?
She thinks she's a writer.
She does literal
means
porn.
to say
Oh, she's so
she
stupid.
means to say literary porn.
Yeah, literary
But
porn.
because she's a
God.
stupid fuck.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, I write literature. It's literal porn.
Oh my
In
God.
twenty-
Because that's what I was thinking too. Like she's
Yes.
literally a
Because
porn
literally all
novelist.
you are is a dumb porn star. Go ahead.
How is
think
she
she
a
used the
dumb
word
Asian?
psychotic.
I didn't think they existed.
Yeah.
So the Daily Dot's Asia Romano reported on Metzger's disturbing online trail of harassment towards two women, outspoken critics of rape culture and comedy. More recently, YouTube personality, former Daily Dot staff writer Gabby Dunn, says she had an experience similar to literal porns just last month. Quote, I tweeted about Bill Burr's transphobic comments on Conan to my own timeline, Dunn said, and then Metzger started tweeting me, started a campaign to get me on his podcast by
No,
harassing
hold on.
me.
Wait, stop. Dude, now when I took the screenshot of what I tweeted at her, this fucking disingenuous asshole, same thing, I go, hey, you want to come on the show? I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't understand what was transphobic. And please call in and tell me why it was transphobic. That's literally all I said to her. And I put the screenshot up after she fucking put this shit because they're going, I'm harassing you with that? But this is my favorite part. She goes, luckily, I had him preemptively blocked because I knew of his treat. So how the fuck do you even know I harassed you?
This seems
if you
to
never even
further
read the
enrage
fucking
him.
thing? It does enrage me. It absolutely
I
enrages me.
can't wait for the Race Wars Christmas party because it's going to be great.
I have to tell you, this is the most boring rage I've ever seen.
Are you sure? Because they're cowering right now from this.
Who is?
I mean,
Oh,
I was just
I know
going through it.
Rebecca Watson.
Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, she's a moron too. But well, okay, hold on. Let's just get I
Along
wanna
with
get-
Dunn, writers Lindy West.
No, keep going down because it's more boring shit. Keep going. I want to go. Wait, Doyle.
Wow, Rebecca, you're right to be offended by Richard Dawkins' comments.
Oh, that's when I made fun of her.
This
for
is like a
being-
really long thing.
Yeah, it's too
But
long. Keep
separated
going.
from this, like, white guys getting annoyed by being called white boys, so boring.
It is
just,
boring.
Just
We need an
cares?
N-word for
No,
those motherfuckers,
I think throwing
We
white.
need an N-word for them.
Now, listen,
Honky just don't do it no more.
First of
She's
all,
right.
First of all,
Honky
number
ain't
one,
doing it.
it is very boring, and she's a boring bitch to be thrown around white boy like it's an insult.
Yeah,
A.
but
Well, you're
B.
taking it as an insult, Kurt.
You know what? It's
No,
kind of like...
no. See, this is the clever bullshit. Number one,
It is an insult.
Is you're gonna throw around, you're racist, and to throw around white,
White boy, that's kinda-
because you're trying to be racist yourself. So don't. The hypocrisy is what's annoying me, not the white. You call me whatever you want. You call me cracker or ofe if you fucking
She's
want.
using white boy as intimidation.
Don't
She's
don't
using it trying to
fucking try
intimidate
to
Kurt.
use that as intimidation, then cry that you're the victim of something when you just got done in all caps shouting at me. Do you understand? What, like you get what I'm saying, right? Okay.
Now, if she was talking to me, would she write black boy?
No.
better.
Blackie.
Would she?
No, but I think it's different.
Well,
It ain't.
yeah. Well,
She's
listen.
trying to affect him, and she affected him.
Why is
Yeah,
it
she's
different?
trying to affect him, but I just...
Can I just say
Wait,
that
why is it different? Go ahead.
my takeaway is that look what happened with you and Tommy O'Malley. Same thing.
Because
but
Tommy is a human.
Yeah,
was a
Tommy's
human
part of our
and
show now.
responded to
He's
you.
not a
and had
wizard as John Ronson.
Tommy had a conversation with you, and now you guys are friends and
Right.
And he's
found
part of
equal
the show.
ground.
Yes, because Tommy had good points, and we
because
fucking
he
listen
had
to
points.
That's
he
what I'm
had
saying.
real points. What they don't have any points, and they're cowards.
They
and
just
don't
have
I will
want-
say this,
face,
like-
fake outrage.
I am obviously like an outspoken feminist, and
Boo! Oh, sorry. Force I have. I can't.
and well, I mean,
hey,
I took
me too. Join the club.
no, but like, first of all, like, yeah, the whole rape joke thing, like, I took that as a challenge and wrote 2 amazing rape sketches for our show. So like, I whatever, but like, I think it's amazing that me and Kurt get along so well.
Yeah.
It's not amazing.
It's not
because-
amazing to
That's
me.
another example.
Man,
No,
go.
let her finish. Let her
Let me
finish.
finish. But like, it's amazing from an outside view. Like, you would see us getting along, and you'd be like, "Wait a minute, that doesn't
Compute.
compute."
Right.
But I also don't think that people owe you that they have to reconcile with you. They have to talk to you.
They don't have to talk to
but
me.
They shouldn't
They don't-
slander you.
Right.
But,
there you go. That's all I'm saying.
But at the same time, you, after they reject your offer to come on your show, you go on to slander them.
Hey, reject my offer. Go, hey, no, I don't feel like doing it. Don't go around saying that just because I asked, I harassed you. That's my issue.
Right.
You could say, no, I don't want to be on it. Hey, fair enough.
Yeah.
Perfect fine. Don't go, he harassed. See, this is now the victim train where all
Yeah.
these people that weren't victims want to jump in on it.
Yeah.
Now, the reason it's
We're
not weird
looking
for
at
me
it.
and
We're
you.
looking at the article. That's what he's talking about.
The reason it's not weird for me and you to be friends because you have a talent that I respect, and I am a fucking feminist. What I am is fair. What I'm not is I'm not going to be talked down to or dictated to how things are going to be by a person who's not qualified to tell me. Nangel's funny. If Nangle go, hey, I think this is this, I'll listen to your idea about comedy because you do comedy.
Right.
We do the same job where you have, you're a professional. Maybe you have something to add.
Yeah, different opinions, different perspectives.
This silly blogger's got nothing to add and just thinks she does my job. Well, you don't. Literal porn, I'm funnier than any white boy. And it's like stock jokes.
She said that?
She did not say that.
No, you got to look at the rest of their shit.
She said I'm funnier than any white boy.
This Sadie Doyle tweet's great. The quote, come on my podcast quote crap is happening because women are having conversations in context Metzger can't control.
Yeah. Isn't the projection amazing though?
Yeah, giving this nigga too much credit.
But no. This is laughable. This is someone talking about themselves. It will be out of my control. All that control the narrative shit, it's unfucking believable. That's why Tommy thought he had points that were good. That's why he had no problem calling in.
Right. He thought he stood behind his points and his facts.
This is interesting because this is kind of speaks to what got us onto the subject, which is the woman who was publicly shamed on Twitter. So it's kind of like it's spinning out. It's not about Kurt anymore. It's about something bigger.
Yeah. In fact, let's go back to that. John, go back. Go back to talking about Justine Sacco that we got derailed from.
What is it? What's her name?
Justine Sacco.
Justine Sacco.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's asleep on a plane. She tweeted this thing.
Don't sleep on planes. Rule number 1. You'll get shamed.
And then the plane lands in Cape Town and she turns on her phone and there's a text from somebody she hasn't spoken to since high school that says, I am so sorry to see what's happening to you right now. Mm-hmm. And
she has no idea.
No idea. Yeah, because she had 170 Twitter followers.
Didn't they make her leave the country?
Yeah, well, she got death threats. She had to cut short her vacation.
Was it Bishop Tutu?
Didn't you say people were in bars
was in South Africa and she had to leave for being racist?
Yeah, that's kind of,
But weren't they waiting for her to get off the
plane?
plane?
There was a guy waiting. Because, so when she slept, while she slept, what happened was that one of her 170 Twitter followers had copied the tweet to a Gawker journalist called Sam Biddle, who retweeted it to his 15,000 followers.
Oh, and they couldn't wait.
He's apologized since then, hasn't he, for doing that?
Yeah. Because he got shamed too.
I asked him before. Yeah.
He's a scumbag.
I asked him before.
Wait, we might want him on, Kurt. So.
Before he
apologized,
ask him
first, then call him a scumbag.
Thank you.
Before he apologized, I asked him how it had felt to have started this kind of campaign against Justine, and he said it felt delicious. And then he said, "But I'm sure she's fine." Because we want to destroy people and not feel bad about it.
Right.
So, okay. So
wait, hold on. I'm sure she's fine. Now, see, this is the pure evil, and that's what this girl does. I've had this happen. This is when I had this happen. Remember the other one I was trying to get to come on? I go, listen, why are you telling people I harassed you? Like, it's really not fair of you to say. The one girl who I had written to, and we were like cool, like there was no thing, but she wanted to get on the victim train and I go, listen, she had to take her shit down because I didn't put her name out. I go, listen, I've got the fucking receipt, I guess as they call it, of you saying we're cool. And I'm like, why, if it wasn't cool, were you like, hey, cool, you were friends, thanks. She goes, well, I'm stronger now. I was weaker then. This is what happens when feminism trickles down to maniacs. Okay. She goes, then this is my favorite. I go, but can you not say this about me because I didn't do that? She goes, you're a powerful man. You'll be fine.
These people really think Kurt is Steven Spielberg.
But that's the thing. And that's why white boy is a problem. You put this label, I've branded you as the group we can talk bad about. And once you start that shit, it all trickles down from there.
It's dangerous.
We've labeled, you're the psychopath, you're the lizard man, you're the whatever.
Yeah.
It's
the white devil.
All their anger just gets channeled into one approved group.
Guys, I like to say that a lizard that's a psychopath could be called a gygopath.
That might be a show title, by the way.
Gygopath?
Yeah.
Gygopath.
Yeah, and the other thing that's happening in that regard, you mentioned privilege earlier, and I have you noticed this year how the phrase misuse of privilege has become like
Yeah.
a broader and broader way to destroy kind of anybody that you want to. And it's becoming very kind of, I think, devalued as a term.
Of course it has.
Like there was a woman...
That's what's going to save us.
What's the term
spread
again?
it so thin.
Misuse of privilege.
Dude, the PC thing, they've spread this shit so thin, the pendulum has to swing the other way.
I can't wait to get somebody to call me, I'm using a misuse of privilege. That's when my mother know I made it.
Dude, if I could steal
That's a
privilege
stamp
from
of
other
making it.
people and give it to myself, I would. Go ahead.
Did you hear about the woman on the train that crashed in Philadelphia, the Amtrak train?
No.
Oh, yeah, in Connecticut.
Yeah.
She crossed over she went around the thing, trying to get around the...
Oh, no, this is a different train crash. This was the Amtrak that crashed in Philadelphia, and so 8 people
that
died.
derailed.
It derailed,
Right.
What happened?
Literally in my neighborhood, that's not even a joke.
Really? Holy shit.
So it's carnage, right? There's 8 people dead. There's broken limbs all over the place. There's people actually in the luggage racks asking to be helped down, and a woman emerges from the wreckage.
Right.
Yeah, and tweets, obviously like dazed, tweets, "Thanks a lot for derailing my train. Can I please get my violin back from the second car of the train?"
Right.
So that's what she tweets. So I think, like, if that had happened like 4 or 5 years ago, Twitter would have said, "Are you okay? What was it like? What happened?" You know, it was a place of curiosity back then. This is how Twitter responded.
They attacked her?
Some cunt is complete. 8 people died and she lives. No justice in the world. I'd like to get her violin and smash it against the train. Skanky bitch. And so on. Because she was perceived to have misused her privilege. And the irony, because she had a
The
violin.
privilege of life.
Because it's
the privilege of
violin.
life and the privilege of owning a violin.
Yeah.
So
if she said, I was in a crash and I can't beatbox no more, then nobody would attack her.
So thousands of people.
I can't. I can't do that no more. Thanks, Amtrak.
So thousands of people who hadn't just been in a train crash were now like tearing apart a woman who just been in a train crash for being privileged.
Right.
So, yeah.
She was probably like dazed and confused. That's all she could think about was
Yes.
my violin.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you're never too dazed and confused to check your privilege.
After the Aurora shooting, I remember they interviewed a guy, and he was clearly dazed, but he was talking about like the Joker. It didn't make much sense. Right. And Gawker put the video on Gawker and like made fun of it. And this was like less than 24 hours, I think,
That's
after
cool.
this man
Dirty.
had to run for his
Yeah,
life.
they're fucking despicable, but
Yeah.
they like to moralize and pretend they're not.
Yeah.
But that's
And,
the
like,
reason.
one of the worst ones of the last year I thought was Jezebel was putting, Amy Pascal's hacked Amazon purchases onto Jezebel.
Why?
And it was all, because
Oh,
it
we
was
gotta
like
talk to Aaron about it.
hilarious, because it was all for
You know,
like
Aaron, the
intimate-
managing editor, is
And that's
on the
Jezebel.
show usually.
Yes.
We're going to have to
She's
ask
our
about it.
managing
I wanna know about that.
editor of Jezebel, but she's a part of the Race Wars podcast.
I wish she was here
Okay.
today.
She's
for
out
this.
today, but we got to call her out on that one.
Right.
Well, that might be before her time. She just took over for somebody.
That's true.
For a while. That's
We'll
probably the
still
one
blame
before
her, though. We'll still blame her.
Yes, we will.
Oh no, this terrible kind of sanctimony. Okay, so this was like hacked. Again, it was like misuse of privilege, chairman of Sony, and so on. So they hacked her Amazon purchases, and it was all for things like her pubic hair bleaching cream and so on. And Jezebel published all
Right.
of that.
It's not like she was the CEO of like Lehman Brothers or somebody who really fucked a bunch of people.
But it's you know what it is? They're
Like,
all
it's just-
Wait. She was bleaching her
Exactly.
pubic
Like,
hair? Wait, well, let's not just gloss over
Was
that.
she
Nigga,
using
this
her
is-
corporate credit card to do it?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's nobody's goddamn business.
But that makes a difference. So if you're using your corporate card, it can be public access.
But
Yeah.
that's true, but it's not like it was a government. It's not
I'm
like
not
she.
saying
pubic
it's a
access.
It wasn't like the
business, but that
Navy.
would be why they
It was a
would
private
say.
company.
Bleach out her
Yeah.
puss.
Well, listen,
Bleach. She don't like that colored puss.
Here's what's this like. I called this a long time ago. I'm like, these are all little Robespierres with their little French Revolution, and that's what this shit is. We start.
Yeah? It's
You're an
French
aristocrat.
Revolution.
They're off with his head.
Yeah.
And then the last one to get his head chopped off was fucking Robespierre, and
Yeah.
he has the same fucking glasses that all these people wear, by the way. And that's what err on the side of free speech always. Don't err on the side of safe spaces,
Right.
Because uglier shit happens.
Ugliest shit happens
I'm
when you
sorry
stop
if your
speech.
feelings get hurt by white male privilege, but that's not as evil as this shit with the woman on the train, which is like they think the alternative. They're like, no, we should err on the side of me feeling empowered. That's what's more important, and it's not.
It never is.
Yeah.
And is everybody responsible for your fucking feelings? Anyway, go ahead.
All right, we got to
Yeah.
take a break real fast.
Okay, hold on.
The
We come
show's
back.
flying back. Yeah.
We got a guy calling in whose sister was a journalist in Britain that was killed in Somalia by
Friendly fire?
No, by terrorists. Who's the group in Somalia? Al Shabaab.
Oh,
Okay.
So he's a fan of the show.
okay.
And he wants to call in because he got in a fight with some British like Islamophobia chaser thing. But he's going to call in a little bit.
Okay, bet.
And because he's got another story about Omar Bakri's son.
Oh, John does?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get into that too. We'll have you finish this. Kareth is here too. Kareth Foster. We want to. All right. We back. Race
hey, we're
Wars back in the building. Little
Everybody-
garbage for you.
Okay,
Good music.
hold on.
Happy 20th anniversary to Garbage, by the way. I spent some time with Shirley Manson.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Do you know Garbage?
Oh, yeah. I know everything. Hurt.
Okay, so this dude.
She was great. She was on my Spotify show Incoming, so check that episode out too.
Okay, so like in about 15 minutes, this guy's going to call in, and his name, well, I know him as Patrick Friedman, but I guess it's a fake name for some reason on Twitter. Hold on, he gave me his real name. This is the guy whose sister, Charles Payton. I guess
Okay.
Kate Payton was his sister, who's a reporter in the UK.
And she was
Okay.
just killed in Somalia. I remember her name.
In 2008, she was killed. So
Okay.
he's going to be calling in about that. I just told him 15 minutes call in. I want you to say a because we're talking about the SJW thing. But you're talking about Breitbart. Because
Yeah.
everybody does. It's not just lefties.
Oh, Breitbart.
To be
Oh,
fair,
sure.
everybody
Yeah.
does this shit.
Breitbart was a friend of mine, by the way, before he passed. I did Fox News with him a few times.
All right, well, tell
yeah.
him this shit. Because like I
Okay.
said,
No, it's just I kind of know. I never heard of.
We had different politics, but he was still a cool. We shared beers.
Right. Well, I'd never heard of Breitbart. I'd never heard of like the magazine or the website or whatever
Oh,
it was.
really?
And I suddenly found myself being mentioned frequently in positive, tones. And like I even ended up on like a list of great new libertarians or something. And and I was thinking, who are these people? Like I didn't.
Oh,
And
right.
obviously I was kind of flattered because
Yeah.
basically I get flattered whenever anybody compliment, even if
Right.
I kind of Hitler complimented me, I'd be flattered.
he had some good ideas. He liked my book.
He was a snazzy dresser.
Yeah, actually, my friend Graham Linehan once sort of gave me this conundrum. He said, okay, you're walking through a forest, you come to a clearing, there is Hitler. He's got away with it, he's lived, he's an old man, but it's definitely Hitler. Hitler tells you how much he likes your work. Do you
I'm
turn him
listening.
in?
Dude, I don't know.
Do you turn
I
him in?
definitely blackmail him.
Right.
I'm a
Dude,
blackmail
yeah,
the shit
so
out of him.
anyway-
If Hitler
Right,
sat down though and like he really got it,
So,
Nobody
so,
laughs
yeah.
more at your jokes than Hitler. What would you do?
Because the thing's like, like I've been attached. Like ever since I supported Justin Sacco and it kind of went
too
crazy in the New
Yeah,
York
what was
Times
the
and my book
backlash
came
on
out.
you for that?
Oh fuck! I mean, you wouldn't believe it. Like all year, like every time a racist cop shoots someone, it's like, I bet John Ronson's going to put his cape on for like everything, and every time
We appreciate that, brother.
yeah. No, these
Obviously-
people think you're supposed to go all or nothing with them on
Yeah.
every fucking topic.
But what this like obviously shows is that there's everyone's lost their capacity to distinguish between like serious and unserious transgression.
Yeah.
So Justin Sacco's transgression is considered as serious as like any fucking transgression, as like killing a lion or being a cop breaking up a pool
Right.
party and
well,
like
you
anything.
know what that is, dude? Remember when Eleanor Roosevelt said no one can make you feel small without your permission? That was easy for her to say as a white male.
I have an open,
That's the
Yeah.
new thing.
I have
So
an
I
open
noticed-
letter for Eleanor Roosevelt.
So I noticed Breitbart being incredibly nice towards me, and I was like, "Oh, who's Breitbart?" And then a couple of days later, I got it up on my phone. So a couple of days later, Breitbart, like the great anti-shaming website Breitbart, who
Right.
kind of stand up for the shamed. So this woman called Monica Foy. So a police officer is killed, and this woman tries to do a joke, and it's a terrible joke. It's worse than Justine's joke.
What's the joke?
The joke is she's basically making a point about how when a black person is killed, everybody sort of blames, says it's something to do with the black person, but nobody's saying about the cop. So her joke was, I can't believe so many people care about a dead cop and no one has thought to ask what he did to deserve it. He had creepy perv eyes. So
That's a great joke.
Right.
What's the problem?
so you can see
I
like
support her joke.
so
Yeah.
Breitbart,
Man.
Breitbart, which has like spent the last, number of years like standing up for everybody
Right.
shamed by the left, destroys this woman, you know, like
Right,
gets her
of course.
arrested, and so it just goes straight.
Gets her
it's-
arrested.
She got arrested.
She ended up getting arrested. Yeah. So this is not
for
about
freedom.
Can't people just say what they want?
Wait. How did she get arrested for what?
Hang on, I need to look up the.
What's she getting arrested
article.
for?
I don't know, inciting racial. I hope she did get arrested, and I didn't get that.
I hate that shit, man. They're just all hypocrites.
Yeah. So the
none
point
of them
is,
stand by any of it.
It's the act. It's like, you know, every shaming is always about more than a transgression, you know, and people are bringing all their baggage and so on. And, you know, what we need to be going for is this kind of knee-jerk, cold, hard judgment, not whether it's coming from the left or coming from the right, because then you just fall into all the old bollocks.
If you genuinely mean it as a joke, and I don't mean where you say some evil shit and then try to say later it was a joke,
Right.
but if your intention was a joke, that's carte blanche to me. He meant it as a joke. Automatically not a problem because you didn't mean it serious.
It
okay?
also depends on who's the joker, though. If you're the head of the fucking Ku Klux Klan, he's like, I didn't mean that as racist. It was a joke. I'm not going to take your word
Well,
for
you
it.
know, that guy would just be honest that he meant it as racist.
I
He
hope
would- he
so.
would point blank,
That's why I
"They're
voted
not
for him.
gonna lie
That's why I
about
voted
that."
for him. I
Yeah.
hope he is honest.
You know,
You can vote in a KK.
Yeah.
yeah. You can
Especially
vote.
black people.
You can vote for which Greek mythological creature or leader you want. I want the Cyclops. Wait, I want to run for Centaur.
We always had a dragon.
Yeah, dragon and a Cyclops.
White
Yeah,
people.
dude, I get because I constantly will get if I'm not getting bashed by some lefties mad at me, then I get the right wingers are like then I miss the lefties because the right wingers are so much dumber and just like
That's
a gang
true.
of morons. Though that's why the lefties are kind of worse to me because it's like a scalpel as opposed to a mallet, as Frank Miller used to say.
Because you can understand the righty dum-dums because they usually falls into Christianity.
Well, this is the thing. From me being Christian, as I always bring up, these people have made their shit a religion. And then especially the fucking rape joke thing about how if you tell a joke, it contributes. This is all shit I heard in my church about Dungeons and Dragons, comic books, heavy metal and rap music. Right? And it's like they're going, it's like, no, we're not saying it causes rape, but every little bit helps.
What
So we got to
denomination
crack
were
down.
you?
I was
What
Jehovah's Witness. And they would
The worst.
scrub
It was like a youth
my whole
minister.
my whole childhood.
Episcopalian, so totally
That's
different.
yeah. What's that? That's easy.
Oh, it's Catholic white, yeah.
But my whole thing was they were big on thought crime, and they had to scrub every little thing that could lead you down the wrong path. And so now these secular people,
Like Christmas.
yeah,
Let us.
these secular fuckers. I mean, it's amazing how Halloween was wrong to us, and now they have their Halloween. Like, if you wear an Indian sari on Halloween, you are causing marginalized people to be murdered. It's a fucking Halloween costume.
Yeah, maybe it was just you got to Ricky's late and your roommate is
But
Indian girl.
look,
She ain't
even if
home. You just take
even
a
if it's
shit.
tasteless, it contributes to nothing. It's merely a Halloween costume. No, every little bit contributes to the bigger. No, it doesn't.
That's
Real
the-
things contribute, actions and shit, and not little things that are reflections of society. Why? Can I not escape religion? I got in my goddamn church to not hear that shit to go in the world, right? And then I get out here and everybody's saying the same shit.
That's
the
exactly what's happening with the Starbucks cups.
your
and
cross
the,
to
and
bear.
the-
Yeah, that's true.
controversy
I don't want
with-
to cross.
Let's talk about that Star Wars.
It's exactly
Starbucks
what's
cup real
happening with
fast
the
before
Starbucks
Christmas.
cups.
Just keep an eye out for when he calls.
Yes, I got.
Sherrod.
What's the dude's name?
Peyton.
Okay, bad.
Charles Peyton.
Louis,
Or
will tell
maybe
me.
Patrick Friedman.
Louis
yeah.
got it.
But Kurt, exactly what you were saying. Starbucks released its annual line of holiday cups on Sunday, and they're red. But people are enraged, claiming the company is deliberately stripping the cup of religious references in the name of political correctness. A spokesman told Mashable the decision to leave the cup blank was so that customers could project their own holiday stories,
Right.
whether by literally drawing on the cup or simply using their imaginations.
Or
Are you-
using it to drink coffee out
So
of.
it's just a red cup.
Wait, Philly Girl
Oh,
just
it's
made the
a red
best
cup.
point,
That is a good
which
point.
is who gives a fuck? I don't understand why any of these people. Remember at work the fucking Chipotle bag?
Yeah.
They,
Let me
on the
explain-
bag, they wrote a goddamn poem as if I go to Chipotle bags for my. It's a good. I read a good thought piece the other day on a Chipotle bag, and like. To even give a fuck, it's like they can't give an inch with their controlling everything.
And if you
even
look
on
at
the
a
cups.
Chipotle bag, by the way, it looks like a light-skinned dude with tattoos.
The Christmas thing, though,
Oh
the
my
reason
God,
Dante
totally.
Nero's
Just pay
arm.
attention to the. It looked
You're
like a
right.
light-skinned dude with tattoos. A Chipotle bag. When you see it, you're gonna be like, "This holy shit."
Oh my
It
god,
like-
that
it
is
look like
like
Derrick
my
Rose.
dream.
Yeah.
A light skinned guy with tattoos bringing me a burrito bowl. Yes, please.
Yes.
Sign me
kinda
up.
like- it
But,
like
however, you know what you got to put on a burrito bowl? You got to put Jesus the Lord being crucified with the stigmata for Christmas.
That's a good point.
That is my dream.
That's a good point.
That's a Christmas miracle.
I like a nice manger scene with baby Jesus already on the cross.
First of all, wasn't Jesus born in August anyway?
Probably in the fall.
So
Yes.
then why is everybody like so there's no snowflakes?
Well,
on the
I didn't
Starbucks
celebrate
cup now?
Christmas growing up because it's a
Oh, that's
pagan
right,
holiday.
right.
Wait, are there no
Yeah,
snow?
all the good
snowflakes?
holidays are pagan, by the way.
It's a nonsense. But the reason they make such a big deal about Christmas is because these psychopaths that they need America to
a
be
war
a
on
Christian.
Christmas. Like-
They need America to be Christian. And deep down, like if you're political and a Christian, you're not a fucking Christian, A.
Exactly.
You're not. And the ones that are political, they know deep down their religion is only true if the law of the land says it is. And that's why they need to make sure theirs is the one that the land endorses, or else it's not true because they have no faith.
Yeah, this country was founded on.
I watch a
freedom of
Christian
religion.
comedy
Yeah.
hour.
Irony.
Yeah.
But it was not founded on faith. That's the big lie. It was founded on faith.
No,
Faith
that's
is
the
the
thing. It
tool.
was founded on freedom, the ability to have freedom. That's why people left.
Well,
There you
technically,
go.
it was
Freedom.
founded
So
on
it's not
mass
faith.
to
murder
have
of
freedom, not
native
to be
peoples.
persecuted
But
for
that
what
was
they
not
believe.
after.
Yeah,
that,
that's
like,
true.
But
Not to be persecuted for what they believe.
but they wouldn't even have a country. Like if you were a Christian, you would just pay your taxes because that's what Jesus said. You wouldn't have a rebellion over no taxation. Jesus was pretty clear. You see whose face is on the money? Caesar. Give him his fucking money. So if they were Christians, we'd have. You can't be in a rebellion that's inherently satanic according to Christianity. So whatever. People will not. They need to have their nationalism and shit. And I'm watching like a Netflix Christian comedians hour with Keith
yeah.
Alberstadt on it.
Oh, Alberstadt was on there? Good for
Okay.
him. White boy
I love
Keith?
him.
I think people. I
Call him
think
white boy
people.
Keith.
Well,
sorry, sorry.
here's the thing. So I'm watching it. The opening is, it's all them. It's like a cutesy thing, and you could tell it's religious. There's fucking American flags everywhere on
Yeah.
it. Okay, so let's say I'm a Christian in another country. I'm like, ooh, some Christian American comedy. And I turn on, I just see American flag, American flag. Like, how could you be a Christian and put this extra little barrier
Yeah.
to other It's not Christian.
It's not Christian.
You're supposed to be basically
Open.
what people are afraid of about Muslims is how Christians are supposed to be. That your religion trumps your flag.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to be loyal to America before Christianity.
Right.
They're mutually exclusive.
Christians
Yeah.
are terrified that that somehow power will be taken from them and they'll be treated like like they treat
Not any real
religion.
Christian.
Exactly.
Not any real
Not
Christian.
any. Yeah, you're right. The people
But
who,
there's only a
the
couple.
people who
The
act from fear.
pseudo-Christians.
If you meet a real Christian, they're delightful, and there's like
Right.
two of them. They're like fucking unicorns.
The people
parents-
that will get mad about the cups are completely acting out of fear, but they're the loudest.
Right. So then this guy is going to call in because he got.
He's
his
on
sister got-
line 3 right now.
Oh yeah,
You got
let's
me
let's
thinking
bring him in.
about
Because,
Charles, yeah, we got him.
Hey,
Hold on.
Charles.
Charlie, you there?
I'm here, yeah.
How you doing, buddy? This is
Not too bad, how's it going?
good.
You
man.
have a British accent too?
Yeah, he's from the UK.
How many fucking Brits we gonna have on this show?
Completely British, yeah.
Goddamn redcoats surrounding us. I don't like it.
Are you familiar with John Ronson at all, Chuck? Charles,
again?
are you familiar with John Ronson? Do you know him at all?
Oh, yeah, no, I've read quite a bit of his work.
Oh,
Hi.
okay.
It's nice to hear another English accent. It's been terrible.
Ah, it's nice to.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is music to my ears.
Sounds like that's the sort of hostage situation.
Yeah, Charles, will you tell me the thing about your sister? Because you contacted me.
Yeah,
because
Benny
you were in
Hill. Benny Hill, let us know your life.
You were in a Twitter fight with somebody, but just tell them about the deal with your sister. Your sister was a reporter who got murdered in Somalia by like a.
Well, yeah. I mean, her name is Kate Payton, and she was killed in Mogadishu in 2005. It was a kind of opportunistic killing, and she was there to report for the BBC as a producer. Well, to produce rather for, in fact, for Peter Grester. I don't know if you know his name. He was imprisoned in Egypt recently. And she was there on a trip that was. There was a long tussle we had with the BBC because it was kind of a trip that we felt she was sent on kind of ill-advisedly in a way, and the coroner eventually found that she'd been put under a certain amount of pressure to go. Excuse me. And so yeah, and it was to basically convene a sort of. There was a whole lot of parliamentarians who'd been in Kenya for quite a while, a few years, were sort of reconvening in Mogadishu with a view to kind of coming back to town. And she was shot by somebody on the orders of a guy who was a kind of connected to Al-Qaeda. And
What was the name of the
so,
guy?
yeah. Say again?
What was the name of the guy?
His name is Ira. I constantly forget. He's got this long list of names. Hold on one second. But Yeah, he was killed in a drone strike in 2008.
And where was she? What was she doing at the time that she was killed?
She was coming out of a hotel where all of the kind of journalists and the parliamentarians had met. And she was just walking around her car, basically, which had been parked on the street because the car park was full, and somebody just came up to her, and shot her in the back.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
So sorry.
So, yeah, and, she went to the hospital there, and there was an incredible response from the sort of local Somalians who kind of donated blood and that sort of thing. Excuse me, because she had a rare blood group in that part of the world. And, but she died sort of some hours later. And it was effectively, it was just a means for one of the kind of gangs in the area, although it was a religiously sort of affiliated group, to prevent the Parliament coming back to town and ruining the whole game for them, I guess. So, yeah.
So the Parliament had been exiled?
Who had, sorry? Yeah, it had been, exactly, yes. It was in exile. I don't exactly know the chronology of it, but at that point it had been out of the country for some time.
Well, here's what I want to ask you, Charles, because when you contacted me, what was it you were in because that's just a terrible fucking story, dude. I mean, I'm really sorry to hear something like that.
I must admit, my first thought when you responded was, it's not necessarily material for a kind of, no-holds-barred comedy podcast.
Well, you know what, man?
This is perfect for our show, because we talk serious stuff.
Here's the way that not that we're going to start, like, cracking wise while you're tearing up telling us this awful story, but all that kind of shit is where comedy basically
comes from.
Not right in this moment as you're talking, but all comedy is based on the fact of these terrible fucking things. So we're not just like yuck 'em in it all the time. Right. We want to talk about shit. When you contacted me, you told me you were in a Twitter argument, and I can't remember her name. I'm trying to look it up. Who's the person that you were fighting with on Twitter?
I suspect John will have come across her, maybe knows her. Her name's Nabila Ramdani.
Nabila Ramdani.
Ramdani.
No, I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell.
She's a French, I think I'm right in saying she's French-Algerian.
Yes, she's French-Algerian.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did she say?
And why was she against you? Because I know she's a big, first of all, Islamophobia is a stupid fucking term that I'm like, but just putting phobia on anything. I don't understand why that's the term. It's like this idiot. Even homophobia is dumb because it's not really necessarily fear because you hate someone.
It all came from arachnophobia in 1994.
It's a way. I guess it's to insult someone for being a bigot, so you want to apply like an irrational mental disorder to them.
Yeah.
But it's everything now is phobia. You have a transphobia.
I do. How did you know?
but Islamophobia, I mean, this is the thing, as a guy that came from an Abrahamic, like a strict religion, and this is why I don't cut them any fucking... It's not that I say terrorism's just caused because you're Islamic, but the people that make excuses for this bullshit Abraham religion, okay, they always go with, if they were just more not marginalized and included in the process, and they're impoverished, and I'm like, you do not understand how the fuck religion works if you're talking that shit. You must have been raised secular, because we didn't want any part of your system. We didn't want any fucking money. You couldn't have bought us. We want either you're going to do our religion, or luckily we don't kill you. God kills you. But the very idea that being inclusive to the government with people in religion, that's not how the religion works. If you're really a member, you care about that above all else. And all man's laws be damned.
All man's laws be damned.
Yeah.
Damn,
right.
man.
But what was the argument?
Like
That's what I want to ask, because that's why you contacted me, because you were telling me that story, which I thought was like fucking horrible. What were you arguing with her about? Because I know she was on some Islamophobia nonsense.
Argument probably is, I think it was a couple of tweets before she blocked me, but basically he was complaining about, I don't know if you saw, there was some recent, I think, when was it, September, Charlie Hebdo cartoons which used the kid who, I believe his name was Aylan Kurdi, is that right?
Uh-huh.
And who died on a beach, and they were very kind of iconic photos of
the little boy?
Mm-hmm. The Syrian child that was a refugee?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. So there was, I find Charlie Hebdo a little bit, I kind of need the footnotes, and I don't always understand.
Yeah, well, French people aren't funny, and they're not good at comedy. I mean, we admit that. You just can't shoot them.
Yeah.
We throw a tomato.
Your words, but,
No, I proudly say that. If you're French, so you're not good at comedy.
They know.
You're too much into clowns and stilts and shit.
They know cologne.
exactly. But so it was. They were kind of juxtaposing that horrible tragedy and the general situation that it's part of with the kind of shallowness of. So there was one featured a kind of big McDonald's sign in the same image.
Oh, right. Yes.
They did
I
what?
do remember that.
And excuse me, by the way, I've got a cough, so
It's okay, man.
try to cough away from that.
Stop trying to be so English and polite, nigga. Just cough.
I know that's a dead giveaway.
Is this a scene from Spectra? Just cough, James Bond.
So yeah, she was tweeting about, the fact that it was making fun of the death of this little kid and his religion, which, apart from anything, I didn't feel it was making fun of his death. It was making a philosophic, a kind of...
Yeah.
It was a rumination on the topic. It wasn't meant to be funny, necessarily.
Right.
It was about the contrast between the desperation of all these people to come to European shores.
Right. Well, she's a
And the shallowness of
professional
our culture.
complainer, so that's why she's got to make it into that.
So what was her response, though?
Say again?
What was her response to that? Was that it was Islamophobic?
Well, we didn't even get that far, because basically I just said to her, whatever you think of this cartoon, it's clearly not making fun of his death.
Right.
Right.
She said to me, well, so it's a... Maybe I should just find the tweets. I should have been prepared. But
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, no, she said basically it could have been your son.
Right. Oh, and you brought up my sister, right?
And so, well, since you bring it up, my sister was killed by
Right.
Islamists in Mogadishu.
That's a good comeback, by the way.
That's the best comeback. You wish you didn't have the comeback, actually.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it is a good
indeed,
comeback.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very rarely useful in the same way. Situations where it's applicable. But I said, if somebody had used her likeness to make a point, and I know the people behind Charlie Hebdo are essentially leftists, anti-racists. They're not bigots,
Right.
what a lot of the left are now saying.
Well, hold on. I just want to ask this, because when did this thing of mocking Islam make you racist? I don't understand that at all. Lots of white people are Muslims. Is it because, like, secular kind of lefties just imagine it's a brown thing? And they go, I wouldn't dare. That's racist. Like, how did it become racist to talk? And by the way, if I don't like your religion, I could still like you. Like, if I'm trashing Islam,
yeah.
it doesn't mean I hate Muslims. I feel bad for you got to do that shit.
You just explain our relationship, Kurt.
Yeah. So what is this new thing where I have to tolerate your religion? That means I can stomach you. That doesn't mean I have to I said that
respect
joke.
you,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, you're Amish and you have to dress like a big hobbit? Oh, I'm not respectful of it. But you should be alive. You shouldn't have to die.
I think partly what it is that most people on the left, certainly, I think it's probably a big overlap with the state, certainly seeing what's gone on on campuses the last few days. Is it Yale? The whole business over Halloween costumes. I think a lot of the left, here at least, doesn't really have any religion, doesn't have any familiarity with religion.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you have a particular...
Well, we were just talking about this very thing, as a matter of fact, just before you said it. It is religious fervor, and you're a heretic if you don't go by every dogmatic part. But one thing I'll say for religious people, when you ask them to come on your show and talk about it, they're happy to share it with you. And the difference with these people is they're like, well, I'm blocking you. I shouldn't even have to educate you.
That's dangerous shit
and
right there.
it's like even worse than a religion because they don't want to explain it to you. You're supposed to have already known.
My feeling about that is that deep down, and the reason, I mean, I've been blocked, not by a huge number of people, but on the, part of me hates the whole thing of falling one side or another of this atheist versus you have to be for or against Richard Dawkins or whatever it might be.
Right.
And I kind of
You mean Darryl Dawkins, right?
No, Richard Dawkins.
Darryl Dawkins, basketball player.
No, I think they mean Darren Dalton, the Philadelphia
Oh,
Phillies.
okay, there we go.
It doesn't mean either of them.
Catcher.
That's
Now it
Philly
makes
girl,
sense.
Chuck. Don't pay attention to her.
I'm going to laugh at all of your jokes, whether or not I understand.
The best audience ever.
Chuck, you're a good man.
You need to come to my Comedy Central fucking special. Just laugh.
Go ahead and finish your sentence, Betty. I'm sorry.
But so, I think a lot of people who, young people especially, but not only, who don't have any background in religion, and they kind of think of religious people now as they're associated with the other, with capital O. So with people who are disadvantaged, and there's to me, a ridiculous idea going around that atheists are now kind of in charge of everything.
Right.
And laying down the law and all this stuff, which is possibly slightly truer here than it is over there. But
Well, I think it's weird when I go over there. You guys like you are have Darwin on the money and but are supposedly a little more religious, and we have the opposite. Kind of, it's like a strange. Well, this is the thing why I wanted you to talk to John Ronson, because speaking of that dogmatic thing, John, I was reading your shit about. I assume, Chuck, you know who Omar Bakri is, the guy who was what was his nickname?
The Tottenham Ayatollah.
Yeah,
the Tottenham Ayatollah.
Yeah,
Tottenham Ayatollah.
right,
We gave him,
yeah.
I've always felt kind of embarrassed because we gave him that nickname,
Right.
And it really took off, and forever he was the Tottenham Ayatollah.
Right, yeah.
And I felt kind of bad that I kind of
John has set so many things in motion he can't control now. The psychopath test, this thing.
You soup Nazi'd him.
I spent a year with Omar Bakri in about 1996. He announced that he wasn't going to rest until he saw the flag of Islam flying over Downing Street. So I asked him if I could hang out with him for a year while he kind of overthrew democracy.
I told you John's the best guest we've had.
That's great.
He outed me as
I think that was generous.
Outed you as what?
as a Jew at his jihad training camp.
Hold on, you're a Jew?
I'm a Jew. And they,
Like my
Jewitist.
girlfriend over here, did you know she was this
A
Jew?
Jewitist?
I always know.
Of course he knows.
I'm not a Jew.
We always
He
know.
knows.
Yeah, he had a jihad training camp in Crawley, which is near Gatwick Airport, and he took me along and then outed me as a Jew. He said,
Now,
"Look,
what was the training camp? Did it look like they have the monkey bars? Because I always see the footage with the monkey bars with the
kind of-
Was
terrorist
that
training.
an uncomfortable
It was
shared
basically-
plate of hummus when
You never know when you're going to have to invade a
I
playground.
say jihad training camp. I mean, at the time, I mean, it was like a well-stocked gym in a cabin in a forestry centre.
Okay.
However, a shitload of Omar's people have gone on to commit acts of terrorism.
Oh, right.
since,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Well, what I liked
Yeah.
about
So
your
why
thing,
is England?
Wait.
Why do y'all let this fucking happen? Why you don't shut this place down?
Yeah, we would
Yeah.
never let Muslims get away with none of that shit.
At least
here.
keep an eye on them. How the fuck you guys doing shit?
They'll never
we
get a
never get to
foothold
anyone.
like that. I mean,
They
and we're
might.
nice. Listen, I like that people worry about Islamophobia here in America. They because that just indicates we're nice. That there's somebody that worries about that. I want someone to exist that does that. Just make sure it doesn't get out of hand. But I am not going to. I've already had my taste of the bloody stench of Abraham's God, and I'm not going to do that with you. But if someone else wants to, that just makes it more diverse here. The thing I liked that you wrote was his son just went to join ISIS. Apparently, ISIS killed him. This guy's son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Omar's son.
And people were like, "Fuck him," and which I would say, "Fuck his son." But
me
John,
too.
Yeah.
John met him, and he had a very. I just thought it was admirable how you were like, "I knew this kid."
It's just
Go
that
ahead.
when I read this, somebody tweeted me did you know that Omar Bakri's son's dead, been executed by ISIS? And I was like, what, Muhammad? Because I met Muhammad
Right.
in 1996 when he was just a little boy, he was like a little teenage boy, a scared boy, because his dad, Omar Bakri, was becoming this kind of huge core celeb.
Right.
Yeah,
And he
let's
just
never get for getting laid in high school. I'll tell you that
No, he was
shit.
afraid his dad would get killed like a Malcolm X.
He
Yeah,
also was
yeah.
afraid he wasn't getting laid. He was a teenage boy. His father's a fucking
No,
psychopath.
they would have just shipped one of his cousins over from somewhere
Yes.
and forced her into whatever.
Okay,
But he was
good.
saying, I'm worried and Mum's worried and I've just seen Malcolm X and I'm worried that's what's going to happen to my dad. And anyway, so in the intervening years, me and Omar drifted apart. He ended up in a Beirut prison and I ended up here on this radio show. And,
Very
It's-
similar.
and very similar. Equal, some might say.
yeah. And
Yeah.
he told the Jewish Chronicle, Omar Bakri told the Jewish Chronicle that I had personally destroyed relations between all Jews and all Muslims. And if there was a violent
how so?
Because I have a funny story. It was a funny story. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I thought it was probably best for me and Omar to kind
You're
of
the scape Jew.
I was a scape Jew. I thought
There's a Jew for everything, man.
Yeah.
If you want, I mean, how can you not like Jews? There's one that'll hang out with you and tell people you were a human after I say off. with
Where's
his
the
head.
one that you can date, but she'll be quiet?
Yeah. But then,
that's a
okay,
good
so
question.
then,
That's for
I
personal
think it would
reasons.
have been your tone when you were texting through most of all.
Well, because Chuck here, when we were talking via Twitter,
One that knows how to shut up. Any of those out there? No? All right.
I mean, I wouldn't put that all on the Jewish women. When I talked to Chuck, though, this is like
True.
something where I saw humanity with him with this because the guy got killed by a drone bomb, and I cracked a joke. I'm like, well, thank God for drones. The guy killed his sister, got droned. I go, thank God for drones. And he's like, well, I think drones are overall a disaster. I mean, maybe this was one of the good ones. Like, my instinct would be to like, good, my sister's dead, drone them all.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my instinct.
Yeah, but that's a bad
Which
instinct.
no, it is bad. that, and I admire just the idea you would have. And even with this Twitter shit, where we're like trying to kill people over this, you know what I mean? Like, where's the fucking humanity?
Yeah.
You've even got some for this fucking kid that, you know, like...
Well, I mean, obviously, I would have, like, zero humanity for this kid if I hadn't met him when he was, like, 15 or 14, and he was sweet and vulnerable and scared that his dad was
And he liked Spike Lee as a director? Because
Yeah,
y'all
and he
watch
liked
X?
Spike Lee as a director.
That's what I heard. That's
And
the
then,
only thing I heard.
okay, so then what happened? Now, like this is...
He's
like,
not gonna, he didn't live to see Chirac.
This is what, like, is said to be true. I'm not 100% sure it's true, but basically one of Omar's daughters, like, rebelled against the fact that her dad was, like, Britain's most famous militant Islamist and became a pole dancer.
Stop.
No!
Yeah, seriously.
Google her!
Right. Omar Bakri's daughter.
Yeah.
So, and then
Google
like,
that.
people then extrapolated.
Wait, how do you spell that? There's a lot of G's and shit?
Pole.
Well, just, here, go ahead. Let me finish.
Pole.
Because I still
She
want to get
spelled
to her
pole, by
thing,
the way.
too. So let me just finish.
Okay, so
We'll get to
basically,
it.
people then extrapolated that, well, I wonder if, like, Omar Bakri's daughter becomes a pole dancer, the kid, you know, the family's all kind of torn apart by this, and so the kid, like, to compensate, joins ISIS, you know, because he wants to be like a good son to his father. So, and now the kid's dead, and
Now, why did
But
ISIS
she's
kill
not a
him?
pole dancer. Wow, she is... what? She's a
She's a
blonde.
cutie.
This is another one of Karen Margola's fake Jews.
She might be Muslim, but them titties ain't Muslim.
Is that Ivanka Trump?
No, that's the daughter of...
That's Omar's daughter.
Yeah, where he's from,
She's cute.
somewhere like Syria or something, right? Or somewhere light
Syria.
skin.
Yes. No,
Beirut?
Beirut?
Either
Oh, Lebanon?
Beirut or Syria.
So
Either
now
Lebanon or Syria,
why
or
did
both
ISIS
places.
kill his son if he's such a supporter of their movement?
Apparently apostasy, whatever the hell that means, like apostasy. He said something apathetic.
Yeah.
What's the
He's
right
like,
word?
maybe my sister shouldn't die for pole dancing.
Right.
And it's like killing him.
And they executed him. But then there's like another conspiracy theory now that they pretend to execute people, so then like the heat's off, and then that
They
person
can send
go
them off,
somewhere else.
yeah.
And, yeah.
Because that's a possibility.
When
yeah.
they pretend to kill
They
him?
announce that they killed the guy because they send him on like a special
Secret
mission.
mission.
And now he's dead, and and it's a believable story because they do that.
Did they not videotape? Because they usually videotape beheadings and everything. So why didn't nobody wait for the footage?
But I've got to say,
What
like until all of this, I just thought, like I'm a humanist, and like where it comes to anything except for ISIS, who were like the worst fuckers who ever, lived. And then suddenly I realized that I knew this kid when he was 14, and even that becomes complicated.
But here's the thing, John. You know how many 14-year-old kids I know that's dead now? Most of them. Some by my hand. No, but a lot of kids die in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
What neighborhood is that? You live on the Upper
one
East
you
Side.
live in now. The one you live in now, where we swapped, we did the wife swap, nigga.
Guys, I will tell the only thing I'm religious about is putting on sunscreen every day, religiously.
It's important.
SPF 50.
Good for you.
We got 5 minutes
Oh
left.
yeah, Chuck. Thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate. We're gonna have
Chuck,
you
we
call
really
back
appreciate
again.
it.
I just want to get a little bit to Kareth's thing that we didn't give enough time
Yes,
to.
we gotta
but,
talk about Kareth's event
dude,
on
thank
Friday.
you for sharing that story, man. I'm sorry to hear that, and I gotta say I do admire you for just like that little bit of humanity of like, because I don't know that I would have the same, and it's like something to like think about, really.
It's admirable.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you, brother. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
All right, so wait, Kareth, I want to know about Kareth's thing.
The
that we
poll,
didn't give
the
enough time
article in
to.
the post, yes.
Well, what's so cool is that John is part of this too.
Yes.
And the film is called Can We Take a Joke? And it's basically about what we've really been talking about all this evening is privilege and this idea that people are right and they're being offended, and there's an overcorrection of political correctness that is now happening on college campuses, which was supposed to be the last bastion of liberal thinking and ideas and freedom of speech and expression, and it's like the tides have changed. And this group that was a FIRE organization founded by Greg Lukianoff, who is one of the people who decided to get this film made.
Oh, I remember. I know this group. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
He has an ACLU background. He's Stanford law.
It's a good group he
law
has.
graduate. Absolutely. And for the longest time, they were defending students who were coming under attack for whatever, a production they put on or for speaking out. Whether, people agreed with it or not, they still had the right to say it. But what they've found is that over the years, the tides have changed, and it's now professors who are coming under attack from the students.
Right.
Because there's this whole new generation of millennials who have been so overcoddled that anything that makes them uncomfortable, they want wiped out.
Yes, protested.
Right.
Somebody fired.
Right.
What happened in Missouri?
Well, no.
not really, Whitey.
Missouri-
Watch your white mouth.
No.
Missouri
Hold
and
on.
Yale are two
Not the
different
guy.
instances.
Not the guy that resigned in Missouri, but the reporter.
The
There's the reporter that tried to get in to film it, and they
Oh,
go,
yeah.
"You have to leave. This is our safe space, motherfucker. You
no,
don't get to designate
no,
a
it's a
public
public
space
space.
as your own private space and keep the press
Right.
out. Go fuck yourself."
Unless you're Dominican and it's the West Side Highway next to that tennis court where they took over. You know where they took over.
But
The
you know
handball
what?
courts. You know where they took
The
over.
Dominicans are nice and they'll let you hang out with them. I must
They
say.
do. You can't hang with them. Go
Wait,
ahead.
are those the ones who wear socks with sandals?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Socks with sandals.
I still feel new to New York.
They supposedly
Texas
don't wear
girl.
socks, but
So when
they
is
would-
the
they do.
event? Is Friday though, right?
So the premiere, the world
premiere.
premiere of Can We Take a Joke
Right.
is this Friday. We're having a pre-show at the Comedy Cellars Village Underground.
Yes, that's right. It's gonna be a
I'm
great
gonna
show.
host that. Yeah, it's going to be a great show now that I don't know who's on it.
No, it's
What
people.
time does
Tony
it start?
Woods is on it. Tony Woods is
No.
still. No, he's not.
What time does it start?
6 o'clock.
I really wanted to
I
do
wanna
that
do
show.
that.
The
if I
movie
can.
premieres. Would you do it?
Yeah, get Kurt on
If
there.
my-
He's
Oh
in
my
town.
God.
I got to hold on. I got a thing I got to do first, but I will totally do it if I can. I'm going to
That
find
would
out
be
right after.
so awesome.
Yes.
I'll totally do it.
That would be amazing.
I like that guy's group. I didn't know it was for that, but I
Yeah,
really am into
that
his.
would be
See, and unfortunately, I have to pull out because I'm going to Levity Live this weekend.
Yeah,
know.
if I can, I'm
My
there.
bad.
Good plug.
'Cause I got
Anytime
sellers
Sherrod
by
has
Levity
to
myself.
Live
pull
this
out,
weekend. Check it
Kurt
out. Tracy
goes
Morgan. I'll be
right
there.
on.
Hey, you got anything to plug, Nangle?
At Nanglish.
In English? Anything
Yes.
to plug besides this movie?
No, that's the big thing. The big premiere is this Friday. We want to plug the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Have
Then
people-
Can we take a
I
trip?
am available to speak on college campuses and corporations. I have a humorous diversity program that I do called Stereotyped 101 because we need to laugh about this stuff. Like, you have to use humor if you're going to talk about it. There's no other way to go about
Based
it.
on
You're right.
history, I should never be laughed at again by people and culture.
John, you want to plug a book?
Yeah. What's up,
plug
John?
your book.
God. So you've been publicly shamed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent book, dude.
Oh,
I just read it.
Kareth.com.
We
I didn't
recommend it to
get
all
my,
our
like,
fans.
nobody
Yes.
knows how to. The people don't know how to spell my name.
Kareth.
Karith. Kareth.com.
Yeah.
Kareth Foster on Twitter.
Yes. Kareth is great.
So have you
Yeah.
seen the film?
I have. It's
And is it
amazing.
good?
It's great.
It's a great film. Everybody go check it out.
Cool.
Can we take a joke?
Sherrod?
We only got 30 seconds left. I'll be in Levity Live this weekend with Tracy
What's
Morgan.
up?
At Angegold, ANGEGOLD on Twitter.
All
Yes.
right. I'm at the cellar, too, besides that stuff. All right. Race Wars.
Yo,
Thanks,
Race
guys.
Wars, man. It's a great episode. We love y'all and love your mothers, huh?